Welcome back to another amazing day, which means it's another opportunity for Paper Route.
We here.
Paper Route presented by I Am Athlete. Big day in sports. A lot happened last night. A lot happened yesterday after the show. Want to jump into that, but before we move forward, we got to say welcome back, Ashey.
Ashey is back.
Welcome back, Ashey. How are you feeling? You look amazing.
I know, right?
Hopefully this ain't crossing the line because, we live in a very sensitive environment because if I say the wrong thing, HR can come down on me. But you look amazing, Ash. You look beautiful. The yellow is popping. How are you feeling, though? Do you feel how you look right now?
Sorta. I think it's just a matter of, trying to get back into the swing of things, as everyone knows after whether you have a surgery or whatever, if you're not 100% how you normally are, it's a little bit weird trying to get back into the swing of things. So I'm just trying to feel the most like myself in the situation that I'm in. Corey and I are going to be scooter twins for a few weeks. So that's going to be fun. We should have races around the studio, see who's faster.
Is there going to be enough room for 2 scooters in here? My gosh, Woo, right, Woo? No, that's too funny. Good to hear, of course.
We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
So we're glad that you're here because, you can say whatever you want to say and then we can move forward. But it was serious. Like, we played around last week. We gave you some crap about, your setup and you hitting us up 45 minutes before the show about, hey, guys, I can't come in studio. But this turned out to be a real thing. Your foot really swelled up and the doctor said, no, you need to sit down and we need to really look at this and evaluate a little bit more.
Yeah, it was a lot more serious than I think I even thought it was. And it happened very, very quickly. I think that's probably something that's even more scary is that, the turnaround of the seriousness kind of happened unexpectedly. And, I think it's really important to listen to your body and to know, when to kind of go and get the help that you need, from a doctor, an ER, wherever it is you have to go. Just in general, just listening to your body is so important. And, I'm glad that I did. And, that now whole ordeal is behind me, and now I can just focus on the healing part of it and getting back into my routine as much as I can. And I'm looking forward to Corey sharing his scooter exercises because I'm not gonna sit idle for 3 weeks. I'm gonna need to do some form of activity. So whatever exercises you're doing, Corey, pass them along to your girl.
I got you. I got a whole workout plan for us.
Corey,
okay, awesome.
I have one more thing for Ashey before we move on. Ashey, a couple days you've been out. You jumped in the chat a few times. All right, it's been interesting seeing some of your comments. What's also been interesting is
it's been interesting hearing some of your comments, Brandon.
Okay, we can talk about that if you want. But I feel some type of way, Ashey. You can be in the chat. You can even I see Ashey liking people's stuff, liking our stuff, reposting stuff. But when I call you, why do you screen me?
Scream.
I was not in a position to be on FaceTime with anybody. I don't know about you guys, but listen, I also feel like I'm somebody who normally I'm a texter just by normal in my everyday life. But I feel like when I'm also not 100% myself, or like when I'm in a mood, or just when I'm just not feeling like me, the last thing I'm trying to do is like actually have like full blown conversations with people. I just kind of just want to be as not personal as possible.
So
that's kind of where I was. It's just, there was a lot going on. I just kind of needed to
you need a space.
Just answer people when I could answer them and not answer them when I didn't have to. But I'm sorry. I'll stop screening your calls if that makes you feel bad.
It does. It will make me feel better. You do it all the time. And I learned it's probably because I'm FaceTiming. It's probably because I'm FaceTiming, but then I called her.
FaceTimer,
but then I called her.
You got a FaceTimer.
Yeah, I'll say maybe you got a better shot at like just a regular call, right?
Right.
Brandon's also like a weird hour FaceTimer. Like Brandon will like get an idea at like
11:55
a.m.
Right? Yeah, no,
not even like 11 o'clock. That's generous.
I could co-sign
I'm talking like 1 a.m. He'll get an idea and he'll just FaceTime you. Like I'm asleep. I could be with someone. I don't know. There's a million scenarios that could be going on. And incoming my phone, it says Brandon Marshall. Like the type of problems that could cause at 1 a.m. are just like at never ending. He just doesn't think. He doesn't care. He doesn't think. It's just, I have an idea. Let's go.
Let's go.
Right. Start fast, finish strong.
Yeah, right.
All right, so yesterday was game 3.
It was.
All right, game 3. A lot happened last night. I would say that there's a lot of people disappointed in the Miami Heat. Corey, you have the Miami Heat, Messi news, all that stuff happened. Like, where are we at in the world of sports?
Right. Well, one I want to say is good to have Ashley back, right? Good to hear your voice. I'm sure the viewers and listeners can all say the same. But yeah, Ashley, we got some breaking news. So I don't know if you heard or seen or even was watching the show yesterday, but we were just talking about Dalvin Cook. And the Minnesota Vikings announced today that they are releasing the 4-time Pro Bowler, right? And these were some stats I had read off yesterday. I mean, 47 touchdowns in his career. He's averaged 107 yards, per game over his career as well. And now he's not going to be, a Minnesota Viking. He's going to have some new colors that he's going to be sporting next fall. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be really interesting. And then also, Ashley, Lionel Messi announced that he's going to be signing with Inter Miami of the MLS. I thought that was huge. Like, Brandon, they were saying that, he turned down contracts from Barcelona, right? He was thinking about, because that's where he started, his professional career. And then also saw a Saudi Arabian contract offer that was close to $1.2 billion over 3 years.
Y'all think that's true?
No tax, Saudi Arabia at that. Put that make sure you add that. There's no tax in Saudi Arabia.
No
so
tax.
billion dollars is
$400 million a year.
Billion dollars.
Yeah.
Ashley, let me ask you this question. You think that's real? Come on now, like if he was offered 1.2, 1.6, because there's also that number floating out there as well, and that's the big difference when you're talking about billions. But you think he'll walk away from 1.6 billion, 1.2 billion, and take 50? There is some upside, unique stuff that Corey can take us through, but 50 million from the MLS team?
Absolutely. I think Messi is a player of. There are some players that I feel like chase the bag, and there's nothing wrong with that. We see that across the board in sports all the time. Some players don't worry about championships and loyalty, and for them it's a business, and they treat it like a business, and they chase the bag, and that is what it is. Messi's never been one of those guys, and if you listen to his press conference, I know it was in Spanish, but they did do a translated version of it. If you listen to his press conference, he basically said one of the reasons he didn't go to Barcelona was because he heard that they were going to have to move players of lesser salaries to make space for him. So they were going to have to, get players off of the teams. They were going to have to cut salaries and have to make room for what he is worth in terms of a contract. And he said that doesn't feel right for me. Like I couldn't, basically do that to other people's lives. Like that's not something that would make me feel good going to a team knowing that I'm there because other people had to go ahead and pay the consequences of that. He's not a player who's not aware of those things. So for me, 100%, it makes sense that he would turn it down. He's won the ultimate, award. He got the World Cup, which is something that he's been, not the World Cup. I'm sorry. The World Cup. Sorry.
Yeah, for Argentina.
That was they won.
Yeah, he won that he's been searching for, for his entire career. He got that accolade. I think he's just in a different part of his life at this stage in his career. And I'm excited to have him in Miami. I'm a huge Messi fan. He's my GOAT. And I'm just really excited to have him in proximity where I can see him in some capacity. It's really exciting.
All Ashley's GOATs are got to be questioned.
I mean, his games are actually going to
Messi?
be down
Are you
going
to
to
question Messi as the GOAT?
Pele.
Nah, I don't know. Yeah, I think Messi might be the GOAT, Ashley. I might be with you on that.
There's no might. He's the GOAT.
All right, y'all know soccer.
Can we talk about the impact, though, that he's made already, right? Like somebody was telling me, we were having a conversation before the show. The MLS's Instagram page has 2.2 million followers. The Inter Miami Instagram's page has shot past the MLS in followers. They have 5.5 million followers now, and probably counting.
Dang.
And I've I've said now too. Like I feel like going to an Inter Miami game is like almost going to like a World Cup game. We got somebody of Messi's caliber that we can watch now in our backyard.
It's kind of unfortunate it's on like commercial and power line, right? Like we don't have the actual stadium yet because the actual, the blueprint for the actual stadium is gorgeous. I think it's like on the water. It's beautiful. It's in the heart of Miami. This is, not quite Miami. But I think it's amazing for Miami sports, especially, the Latin culture that we have here.
Hold on,
it's going to be incredible.
Oh, yeah. Ashley, I wanted to jump in real quick and just piggyback off of what you said about the stadium. That's another thing that came out of yesterday as well, is that they're going to have to now play their games at Hard Rock Stadium because it's not big enough, right? Like I think this stadium seats, I saw something said 5,000, but that looked too small.
18,000.
No,
right. So it's 18,000. So they're saying, and I can't confirm this like by a credible source, it was just on the internet, that they're now going to play where the Miami Dolphins play, and that's the Hard Rock Stadium, which is interesting. We had an opportunity a couple years ago to kind of look at that property where they play now, and that was supposed to be their practice facility. But because, of where the market's at today and also the success that they had while being there, they were going to keep that. So I would expect, Ashley, now that they have Messi, that those plans that you're talking about now is the priority, right? Like, I think it'll be easy for them to raise the money and get the buy-in from the city and push that forward because it is a beautiful product.
No, absolutely. And I mean, it's just great for the city of, it's just great for Miami in general. It's great for South Florida, specifically Miami. I mean, the Latin culture that we have down here. And I don't know if you've ever seen a soccer match at Hard Rock. I have. It's an atmosphere that's crazy.
Really?
I mean, you don't realize how diverse South Florida really is until you see a soccer match and you see all the different, cultures that we have down here. I kind of relate it to the WBC. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that at Marlins Park where they do the World Baseball Classic or championship rather. Or is it Classic? Is it? Yeah, WBC.
Ashley's a real
and
sports
you
fan.
see all the different cultures and communities and just people that we have in this environment. Sometimes you get lost in the sauce a little bit and you hang out in your individual pockets and you don't realize how diverse it is. Yeah. But having a star the magnitude of Messi is huge in the States. Like that's something, I don't even think it's like when Beckham came to play for the Galaxy. It's not even quite the same. Like this is Messi and we have him in the States. That's a huge thing. It's
my
huge.
buddy Matthew Ashley, who you met, works with some legendary brands. He texted me yesterday. This is the biggest story in sports over the last 20 years, 30 years. I hope you're covering it, right? This is he's bigger than Michael Jordan. He's bigger than this. He's bigger than that. Is he telling the truth or is he capping? Or how y'all say? How do you say cap or no cap? Is it cap or no cap?
Yeah, cap or no cap.
I would say bigger than Michael Jordan probably.
Isn't that crazy though? Like how can an athlete be?
I'd say he has a bigger following.
Soccer's an international game. When we talk about basketball, I mean Jordan may be a stretch because Jordan's famous all over the world. Like everyone knows who Michael Jordan is, but Messi's up there. I mean, this is one of the, if not the biggest soccer star in the world. I mean, Messi has touched people who aren't even fans of the team that he plays for. I mean, it's a huge thing. I wouldn't say is he bigger than Jordan. It depends on how you rate soccer and things like that or football. But he's definitely up there. He's one of the GOATs. He's one of the biggest stars in the world. But I mean, I read Brandon, you'll like this. Messi, he took less money to come to and play for Miami, but he has sponsorship equity in Apple and I believe not Spotify, Apple, and one other brand deal. I'm sure.
Adidas.
Yes. So he's getting paid elsewhere. So.
No, absolutely.
He's betting on himself, right? The upside could be more significant than a deal that he walked away from. That's coming in at what you said, $400 million a year.
$400 million a year.
Yeah. Well, listen, Brandon Marshall here, Ashey Nicole Moss. We have Corey in the cut. Corey Holmes. Like, people need to know your name, man. Your first
Holmes
and
is the
last name.
name.
We got Woo Out West. We also have BC in the booth and just Manderville. We're on Faction Talk for all the listeners out there. Channel 103 Sirius XM. Sirius XM is in like every damn car almost. So if you have a car, you can listen to us. And you can go back and listen to us. You can listen to me debate and beat Ashley when we talk about basketball. I think my record right now over the last topics, last 10 or so topics, is probably 7-3. I took 3 losses, but you know what? I'm still ahead. Feel good about that, Ashley?
Wait, so what happened to Manderville's nickname? Did we abandon that while I was gone, or how'd that?
Mysterious Manderville.
Mysterious Manderville.
Have you noted down? Because sometimes it's Manderville, Mysterio. Sometimes it's Mysterio Manderville. What are we like? Deciding on?
I mean, I thought we called him Mander Legend. Wasn't that his nickname?
Mander Legend's another one.
Oh, Mander Legend. You know I have a speech impediment.
Though.
You know I can barely talk. You know I chop up words. Now you want me to learn how to say Mander Legend?
Mander Legends.
Look,
that's
probably easier than
Manderville
Mysterio.
Mander Legend.
I know Manderville Mysterio kind of like a tongue twister if you try to just blurt it out too fast.
So
I think JP gave him that nickname.
Mander Legend.
So I feel like I'm not quite sure if that's the nickname he wants to go with, but I know JP gave him that one. So
I know.
We'll see.
Oh, before we move on, we're just chatting. We're just chatting right now.
I had a random thought too, but go ahead.
You had a random thought? Yeah. Let's brand this segment just random thoughts. Right? Ashley, you got to come up with a random thought. My random thought right now is I ran outside. I ran in the front of the studio 5 minutes before the show. And damn, Shaq was just standing there working out. And then I ran up to him behind him, pause, and I act like I was going to dunk on him. He got scared. But isn't that cool?
That is actually
that is.
That was really cool. I ran out there. I was like, holy shit, like, what is Shaq doing out here?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to ask him, but I was like, yo, team, why don't y'all ask him if he can come make an appearance on the show?
Right, just a little quick one, huh?
So I don't know. He seemed really locked into his workout right now. All right, so that's my random thought. Just came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Shaq is just in the building, right? You don't see that most. He came in when I first opened House of Athlete just to see it.
Really?
And yeah, I took him on tour. He said, I love this. This is what I was trying to create with 24-hour fitness. I've been looking for this. I'm going to get you on the phone with my team. They're going to help you out, blah, 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 blah. And then he walks out, and I see him at the front. I'm like, what are you doing? He said, I'm buying a membership. I said, bro, you don't need to do that, man. Just like, you know what I'm saying? It's you. You being here is more than enough for me and us. He said, nope. He said, pay it in full. And he threw his little black card down, paid it off, and only worked out that first year probably like 4 or 5 times. And even this year, still a member, it's only been here 2-3 times.
Yeah.
He leaves tomorrow, he said. So, that's my random thought.
I remember the day actually he came into, we were having like a team meeting. It was like an employee meeting. He came in, bought the membership. Everybody was all excited. Saw him have to duck his head through the large doorway that we have at the front of the House of Athlete, and had everybody excited. But no, Ashley, you want to know what my random thought was? I was looking at your jacket. Did you see the sky yesterday in New York? It looked like something out of a movie.
Yeah, I mean, my family's there, and a lot of my family is still there, and most of my family is still there. I would say 95%, and my friends, my oldest friends are still there. Yeah, it's crazy. It's as somebody who's really big into the environment, it's an unfortunate situation that they're dealing with. I know pictures look cool, but when you really get into the nitty gritty of it, it's not a good situation. The air quality is horrendous. They say it's the worst in the country, but it's top 3 right now in the world, which is insane when you think about it. I mean, we're talking about places like China and Bangladesh that are known for having terrible air quality. Now New York's in the top 3. So just my thoughts are with everybody, trying to stay safe and protect their lungs, and that's a very serious thing. So the pictures are beautiful though.
She goes to the pictures.
Yeah, I mean
they are. The pictures
blue and
are
orange skylines, right?
They're like weirdly beautiful. It kind of looks like a Mad Max, like what life would look like on Mars type of thing. It's crazy.
Wow, yeah, we actually got a picture there.
How did we do that so fast?
We're on top of it, huh?
Did y'all know we were talking about this?
No.
How the hell did BC throw this up so quick?
We're in random
BC
thoughts.
The
we're in
best.
a random thought segment.
Don't
This was not planned at all.
Yeah, right.
Wow. Yeah,
Ashley, you got any random thoughts?
You guys ever hear of like oxymorons?
Yeah.
So So I saw an oxymoron the other day that kind of like made me think. It was like, why do we park in a driveway but drive on a parkway? That's my random
Why
thought.
do you park in
Think
a
about that.
driveway?
Yeah.
Drive on say it one more time.
Because you don't drive
Why
on
do
a
you
driveway.
park in a driveway but drive on a parkway?
Wow.
Actually getting too deep for me.
That's gonna blow a lot of that's gonna blow the minds
Think
of,
about it.
of some
Think
of
about
our,
it.
That's
My viewers gonna get blown.
viewers.
That's actually a good point though. Just
Yeah,
in titles.
I mean, because look, we don't drive on a driveway, and we certainly don't park on a parkway. That wouldn't be a good idea to park on a parkway.
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think
That's a
about
good
that
one.
one.
Will you have anything before we start talking?
Right before we
Man,
start.
I'm sorry. Actually,
Everybody
just blew
there
my
like that?
mind with that one. I don't even know what to say to that.
Oh, well, what's behind
Thursday.
you? It's a random thought. What's behind you? Can I get
Oh,
the...
actually, you know what?
Oh, yeah, what is that?
Got
What
that
is
little
that?
plaque sitting behind me right now. We got our million subscribers on YouTube.
Grab it. Put it in the
Okay.
camera.
Oh,
We
let
need
me
to
get
see
that.
this
Let me get
thing.
Yeah, put it in focus a little bit, huh?
Here we go, y'all.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
For the team.
Can you read it for the people who can't see that? What does it say?
Presented to I Am Athlete for passing 1 million subscribers.
It's a clean
1
shot.
billion on the way.
Wow.
So,
Yay.
Billy, love it.
Brandon, before we move on, I mean, obviously me, Corey, Woo, everybody, we kind of joined, after the beginning stages.
Correct.
But I mean, how does it feel to go from 0
Yep.
to over 1 million? What's that like?
Wow, how does it feel? What is it like? Well, one, thankful and grateful for, first the team. We've been through so much. We've tried so many things. We continue to try things, and it hasn't been easy, right? Like, it's really been tough, I would say, for a majority of the time. When you try to do things for the first time, you don't know what the hell you're doing. Like a YouTuber, if you asked me, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, Brandon, what are you going to do? And are you considering YouTube? I would have said, what the hell is that? You understand? So like for us to go out there and like figure this shit out, it's been tough, but it's also been rewarding. This is obviously one of those moments. So the team has been phenomenal. And then even the people that came before, like, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't always work out, but we've all held each other accountable. We taught each other. We learned from each other, and so thank you. And then obviously, all of the people that's been rocking with us, the 1 million plus people on our squad, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be in this position. So we still have a lot of work to do, but man, like our core audience is strong, and they're super engaged and they love what we're doing. So that's that. But how do I feel? To keep it real, let me see. I don't know. Like, I think this is part of the challenge for me, and I had this moment, and you'll understand how all this come together. I was playing for the Jets in 2015. It was my best single season in my career. All pro that year, obviously Pro Bowl. I'm living in New York. I'm one of the biggest athletes in the biggest sports market in the world, right? Like walking around as a Jet, balling, and a team is having success. I didn't pay for anything. You understand? So that was like the first time I felt like real stardom, like going to the Knicks game, sitting courtside. They put me up there. The stands are standing and cheering for me. It was a phenomenal moment. After one game, I'm in there 6 a.m. watching. I just had like 100 yards. And I'm sitting here early in the morning watching this film. After a win, after I had a game that most receivers aim for, and I'm like, damn, but it wasn't good enough, but it wasn't good enough, but it wasn't good enough. And I started crying in that moment because I'm like, damn, like, I don't know if I've ever seen the perfect game or if I ever accomplished what I wanted to accomplish in a single game. And I was like, why do I do this to myself? Why am I sitting here fucking, you know what I'm saying, not okay with what a lot of people will say is a great moment, a great season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then in that moment, Ashley, what I end up saying to myself, I said, this is what makes me me, is that I'm never satisfied. Right? Oh, there you go, BC again.
Yo,
with the pictures.
BC.
BC for the win. Right? So
killing it.
I'll land the plane here, Ashley, but this is me being vulnerable and being honest. But, I cried in that moment, but I said, you know what? I think this is why I made it to this moment. It's because it was never like enough. It was never like, I'd never seen the perfect game. So I'm always striving for, that perfect game. And so I feel the same way in media. And what we're doing with I Am Athlete is like, okay, how do we break through? How do we become the best? How do we create a space where our athletes and artists and most significant men and women want to come here and tell their stories first? And so it's a challenge for me. I know there's a lot of good and bad that comes with it. I am embracing moments, right? So I am better now where I'm like, you know what? Let me celebrate this for at least 20 minutes. Take it in. And
just at least 20 minutes.
Yeah. So
I think, you know what though, Brandon? Like, I appreciate that answer because seriously. I too am guilty of that, or I was guilty of that. But I think that for me, the turning point really was the pandemic. I think that moment of stillness that was forced upon me, because I too was somebody who, like, I didn't get excited about things because I was already on what was next. Like, I would get awards in school for excellence, or I would, even after I graduated college, like, I was like, all right, cool, now what am I gonna do? Like, what's that? Like, I never really allowed myself to get too high on a moment and to be too high in the present, because I've always been somebody who's been like 5 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead, and so my brain's constantly running. And I think the pandemic was when, when everyone was still, because you had no choice but to be still. And I remember I was on radio, and radio took a huge hit, and all of us got furloughed eventually, like a few months into it. It requires you to really like take a moment and figure out what was next, but also just be grateful that you're in the present, because so many people were like just not experiencing life. Life was so unpredictable for so many people during that pandemic, whether it was financially, whether it was their health. And I think for me, that's really when I kind of, my relationship with spirituality really like kicked into high gear, and my meditation and my saging and smudging and all those things. And I'm somebody who now, I'm still planning for the present. I mean, planning for the future, and really still, being that goal-oriented Capricorn, obsessive, like what my future is going to look like. But I think I've also like learned in the past few years that life is so precious, like, and you never know like when it's your time, and you never want to be so high and so focused on the future that you can't notice all the blessings and the things around you. And it's as cliche as it sounds, it's not always the destination, but the journey is the best part. And I think I've really taken that mantra and applied it to my life. And I feel like I'm happier for it. I feel like I'm lighter because of it. I feel like things that used to get me upset don't upset me the way that they used to, because I'm just like, things will work out. What's meant to be will be. So absolutely. I hope that you give yourself more than 20 minutes, because 20 minutes just isn't enough sometimes. Okay. I hope you give yourself a little bit more than that.
Well, now look, I want to say those were encouraging words from both of you guys, right? Like, I think it was nuggets from both of you. Ashley, what I take away from you is that you got to be present, right? Through this journey, it's a long life, but also life is short. So we do have to celebrate those wins. But from you, Brandon, it's, you can't be, that's complacency though, right? If we do dwell in those wins for too long. And, that is why you was great, right? Because you had just that burning desire inside to just continue to get better. Right. Like, that 1 million subscribers is cool, but like, all right, what's the next goal? Right. What's the next thing to accomplish? So absolutely. I think those are great, great words from both of you guys.
Nice balance. 20 minutes was a little bit short if that's all you gave it.
Well, let's do this.
At least dwell in it.
Let's do this. Izzy or Nagin, there's some shot glasses, and it's past 12 o'clock. So this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. But let's take a shot. This brand just sent me that I met at F1 some tequila. Let's take a shot of tequila, right? Like, say thank you to the brand for sending this over. Hopefully one day they'll come in and sponsor I Am Athlete.
What's that, Casa what?
Yep. Look, boom. There you go right there. Literally just got this in. Come on, Ashley, you about to put me on the spot.
I
can't read. I can't read. Help me out. You read it. What does it say?
I can't unsee Casa Dragons.
I don't think it's Casa Dragons.
I'm sure you're supposed to pronounce it a little bit.
Casa
like Dragones?
de No, I can't see it.
Dragones?
Oh, wait, here we go. Oh, Casa Dragones.
Okay. Well, listen, this is how you know it's organic and they didn't pay us to do this. All I know is it was excellent, Ashley.
That's good.
It was excellent. I was at this amazing suite at the F1 race. I met the founder and the head of like comms there. And she was like, yeah, I'll send you a bottle. So it finally came in. The card is here. It says Brandon Marshall on the back. And then it says, great to meet you at F1. We hope you enjoy this bottle as much as we love producing it. Till and team, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's excellent. I'm gonna save you a shot too, Ashley. So we're gonna celebrate to 1 million plus subscribers.
Yay.
We're gonna celebrate because this is what life's about. Ashley just gave us a nice soundbite. It's not about the destination; it's about the journey, right? And I think part of the journey is looking yourself in the mirror and just learning who you are and what your triggers are, what makes you tick, right? Oh, big shots, right? Because it's not always easy.
Don't forget we got a show to do, y'all.
Oh, man. And we have Liv. Liv is back.
And I think she might be on.
She's on?
Yeah,
she's
on.
in the bar. Maybe Liv or
Liv definitely would be able to pour up and celebrate.
Is Liv here? Is she here?
Yeah, she's here. She's on.
Can we see her video?
Give us a second. BC got you.
Because she's I would say to see, I be hating.
Yeah, she actually may be familiar with the brand, actually.
No, she's a fake mixologist.
She a fake one.
She's a fake mixologist. She only know how to make 3 drinks, but she has a beautiful bar at her house.
No, it'd be crazy if she turns around and actually grabs a bottle, right?
I know. of Casa Dragones.
There she is. What's
Dragons.
up,
Liv?
Taking shots?
Right, yeah, you came.
It's after 12.
Yeah, you came in onto us pouring up some shots. We're celebrating 1 million subscribers. Hey, are you familiar with this? Are you familiar with this tequila brand?
You guys are awesome.
I know, right? You familiar with that tequila brand, Olivia? Or Liv? I'm calling you by your government, sorry.
Am I supposed to be able to read that?
Uh-oh,
Hold
here
it
we
right
go.
there.
How about that?
We just zoomed in.
No.
You can't get it? Okay.
No.
Ashley, I think Ashley's the closest. You know she speaks three languages.
Yeah.
Oh, I know she does.
Oh
She's
yeah.
a woman of many talents.
Absolutely.
There you go. All right, so shots to 1 million subscribers. There go your 20 minutes. Now it's on to 2.
All right, how about we get into to some sports, though, while you're doing that, huh?
Let's do it.
Liv, the Nuggets, they got it done. Your team, they did it in Game 3. Nuggets regained control of the series. Last night, they beat the Heat 109-94. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray became the first pair to ever record 30-point triple-doubles in the same game. That is playoffs, that is regular season, that is NBA Finals, the first duo ever to do it. The Heat, they just didn't have a good game, right? They shot 37% from the field. I want to start with you, though, Liv. What did you see from Game 3? What did you see in Game 3, rather?
Honestly, simply, it was more effort from the Denver Nuggets. I never walked away from Game 2 believing that the Miami Heat were a better team than the Denver Nuggets. Mm-hmm. Do they do a lot of things better? Absolutely. But to me, still, this Nuggets team is exceptionally better than the Miami Heat. And to me, in Game 2, they just got embarrassed. They took their foot off the gas, and we've seen 3 teams now do that against this Miami Heat team and get caught with their pants down. That's like my favorite little saying right now. But ultimately, it was a lack of effort in Game 2 from this Nuggets team. And what we saw in Game 3 was the exact opposite. Defensively, they had more effort. We see this Heat defense still putting a lot of pressure on MPJ, getting in his head. But when you've got the best 1-2 punch in the league in Jokic and Jamal, they figured it out. They made it work. And defensively, they just had more effort. So I liked to me, they just showed up. They showed up more in Game 3, and that was all it took.
Actually, we were talking about this on the show yesterday. We said Game 3 was going to determine whether it was more of a Miami win from Game 2, or was it more just the Nuggets losing Game 2? So what did you think of Game 3?
First of all, hi, Livy.
I love you.
Livy.
Love you. I think it was a combination of both. I think that it was surprising for me. I thought the Heat were going to win Game 3 because role players tend to play better at home, right? And, you know, they had a great performance in Denver, which is not easy to do. The atmosphere, the altitude, Denver's well coached. It's a really well-oiled machine of a team. So it was very impressive that they were able to go ahead and split that series in Denver for Game 1 and 2. Now, I will say, like I said, I was surprised that Miami did not play as well at home with the momentum in their favor coming off of that game.
Right.
But I think that what you notice about this Miami team, much like the Boston Celtics, is when you really take the 3 ball away from them, you take a big chunk of their game away from them. Whereas Denver has a lot of different ways they'll attack you. They'll attack you in the paint. They'll attack you from the 3. They'll attack you from the mid-range. And I think that Miami sometimes struggles to find their spot when their main spot is taken from them. And we saw that. You know, Jimmy Butler didn't have the best of game. Bam Adebayo was playing a great game. I think that he really has kind of found his pocket in this series. But when you look at the role players, they didn't really have the performance that they had in that game 2 in Denver that really pushed them over the edge. Whereas on the other side of things, yes, Michael Porter Jr. was nowhere to be found. Don't know what's going on with him. But when you look at Jamal Murray, you look at Jokic, you had triple doubles from them. And then you had Christian Brown, you know, who kind of, you know, lit things up and, you know, had a moment. So I think that they were able to kind of combat certain things, and they're able to combat certain aspects of the game being taken away from them that I think sometimes Miami struggles with. And it was interesting because there was a part in Denver, you know, in the game where Denver's defensive scheme was kind of to pull back off of Miami's shooters. And you were like, okay, well, how's that going to work?
Right,
but I mean, in a sense, it worked because they weren't shooting well. So you kind of gave them the room to kind of shoot themselves in the foot. It was a very interesting game. But I think that when Denver is playing at their best, they're a team that, you know, most of the time is going to win. And even when they're not playing at their best, they're a team that makes you still sweat. I mean, you look at the game prior to that game too, that was a very close game and Denver did not play their best basketball. So that if I was Miami, I'd be a little bit worried about that watching that film back.
Yeah. And you mentioned his name, right? Christian Brown. I mean, he was one, right? Aaron Gordon. What I think the biggest adjustment from game 2 to game 3 was that the others outside of, you know, Jamal Murray and Jokic were moving around a lot more, right? I feel like in game 2, they were kind of just spotting up in the corner, maybe on the wings and whatnot. But what you saw in game 3 was guys cutting. I mean, Christian Braun, we saw most of that in the second half, which of course extended that lead for the Nuggets. But those guys was moving around a lot more. I mean, I think what Mike Malone had, said after the game really fueled these guys to come in to game 3 hyped up. I mean, like you said, like Liv said, it was just a lot of effort. It was a lot of effort from the Nuggets in game 3. Brandon, should the Heat be worried going into game 4?
I really can't discuss this right now because I watched the game, but I missed the game.
Yeah.
Right? What does that mean? I watched the first quarter. I took a gummy, actually.
Did you?
And yeah, so I took a gummy, and I got a massage. And so the plan, Liv and Ashley, was to get the massage while watching the game. Boom, pop the gummy, boom, relaxing. First quarter, it's right there. They're back and forth. I think that it was 20-22.
Maybe yeah.
I fall asleep. When I wake up, the Nuggets are up 20-something points.
Yeah, it was in the
I don't know, and that was the game. I woke up like, I want to say halfway through the third, right? Because we were going into halftime. Actually, I watched the first half, and then it was halftime. I fell asleep, and I didn't wake up until the top of the fourth.
Okay.
And so I missed where everything happened. So I guess, Ashley, what happened in the from when I fell asleep, which was halftime, to the fourth quarter? What the hell happened? Because it was a good game up until then.
Right. So, or Liv, well, I could tell you what happened. What happened was the Heat just couldn't make shots, right? From halftime, because it was only a 5-point game. I'd say from halftime up until almost the start of the fourth, the Heat, I wish I had the exact stats, but the Heat probably made 4 shots. Right, so that's when the Nuggets really extended their lead, and then it was maybe in the fourth quarter at one point where the Heat might have had a chance. And at this point too, which I didn't really understand why Eric Spoelstra made this move, but he took Jimmy off the court, and it was a 10-point game. It was a 10-point game with 2 minutes left.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I mean, there was just a lot of things that went left, really, for the Heat in the third quarter. But you got to give the Nuggets credit, right? They took advantage, of all the opportunities that they were given. They were making high percentage shots.
Right. Liv, I'm sitting here watching this first half, and I know you as a Denver Nuggets fan, okay? You were at, what is it, DNVR Sports Bar? Is that what you? Okay, so the bar, it looked cool. You had your Nuggets hat on. I'm watching this first half and I'm like, yo, I forgot to bet the Heat. Because I'm looking at this first half, I'm like, the Heat are in control. Like the Nuggets are in trouble, right? So that first half, were you nervous at all watching your Nuggets not really pull away?
Yes. I don't think I felt good at all about this game, truly, until we saw Christian Brown towards the end of the game, just like he couldn't be stopped. He was a machine. And at that point, he was almost just like, he was playing like a champion and he was feeding off of like the defeat in the room by the Miami fans. So at that point, I kind of felt comfortable, but there was not a single point in the first half that I like was able to take a breath. Even them being up at halftime, I didn't sit there and feel like, okay, we're good. Like, we're going to be okay. There was not an ounce of me that felt comfortable in that game because I know how quickly the Miami Heat team can feed off of the momentum and completely turn the game on its head. So, and we also know habitually, the fourth quarter is doomsday for this Denver Nuggets team. They always take their foot off the gas. They always, and it's like, okay, we've got this 16-point lead, but just like that, it's gone when you've got petty 3-point fouls and you've got, turnovers here and turnovers there. And it's like, so as a Nuggets fan, I have definitely trained myself to not get excited at all until the game is truly finished. But yeah, I honestly felt like the Miami Heat had a lot of dominance in the first half. I felt like they had control of that game despite being down. The momentum was in their favor, but when the Nuggets came out in the second half, I was like, okay, I think I don't think that this was a fluke, that first half momentum. I think that they really showed up to win this game. So no, I wasn't comfortable at all in the first half, at all.
Ashley, I know you adjusted, you had to adjust your camera, but I threw you a nice alley-oop. I was telling my story.
I know, I heard it. I did. I heard the alley-oop. Unfortunately, I couldn't, get it in the basket this time around. Mandeville came and he
Ashley, you're not
shot,
a dunker.
So.
You would be called just a pure 3-point shooter.
Sniper.
I can't see Ashley windmilling.
Total sniper.
I was a sniper. I was a facilitator. I wasn't a dunker. First of all, I wasn't tall enough. I didn't have the hops to dunk.
Mosey Bogues?
I'm not Muggsy and I'm not Nate Robinson. I know my pocket. You know what I mean? I'm a facilitator. I have good court vision. I'm good from the corner three. That's my lane. That's my bread and butter. I'm not out here trying to do things. I'm not out here trying to do more than I know I can do.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how you lose the game. Everyone's got to just play their role.
Right. So I don't know if you heard, I think you did. Well, you said you did. So I had the heat pack yesterday, right, before my massage and missed the real part of the game. And Ashley and Liv, so before, when I was watching that first half, I was like, yo, I forgot to bet it, right? Because the odds, if I'd have bet $100,000, okay, I would have brought back 150 or 125 or something like that.
It was 191 when I last checked.
It was 191. And so I'm saying like, oh my goodness, I missed the moment. Because what I'm looking for is like 4 to 5 moments throughout the year where I can take 100,000 and bet it. But Liv, I'm a $25 type guy, right? Sometimes I'll scale to 100 on my parlays. Liv, you're a betting woman from a business standpoint because you said like you got to have, I forget how you said it yesterday. You said something about like
money management.
Money management in the betting world. As my betting money manager, what have you said to me if I bet 100,000 on the Miami Heat?
Are you feeling okay? Are you good? Are you under the weather? Do you need to lie down, get some more milk? Are you good?
She said,
I mean,
some milk.
As much as I think this Heat team is impressive, they're a little too inconsistent in terms of letting these games go to 7. I mean, they had a 3-0 lead that they just about blew in the Eastern Conference Final. Listen, I'd put money on them. I don't know if I'd trust them with 100,000.
Right.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of cash.
That's a lot of cash.
It's all relative, Ash. You know that.
No, it's a lot of cash for a bet that's probably not a good one.
Well, after game 1, I'm looking at it and I'm like, yo, okay, Nuggets. Hold on, who won game 1? Who won game 1? I'm lost. Nuggets won. Game 2. Game 2, Heat comes out. Heat look phenomenal.
Yeah,
and then right? I'm like, oh, this is going to be a series. It can go to game 7. I felt like it could be a great bet. And then you see the first half, and it's like, oh my goodness, I missed my opportunity. But it turned out to be, better for me not to bet them because they didn't look great yesterday.
That gummy saved your life is basically what you're saying.
Basically, that's exactly what I'm saying. Ashley, everybody's in the chats asking, Ashley, what do you think about Game 4? Who are you going with? Have you read the chat?
I tend to think that the Miami Heat will win one at home. I'm still a believer in, how role players play at home. I think Eric Spoelstra will have the adjustments that will help them win at home, but I've always had Denver winning this series. I didn't think it was going to be a sweep like people thought. I always had Nuggets in 6. I don't think it's going to go past 6. I wouldn't be surprised if it did, but in my gut, I think Miami wins one more. That game is either going to be my guess is that game will be Game 4, and I think Denver wins the final 2. I don't have this going past 6. I just think that Denver is a team that I don't want to say they're better because I think Miami is a talented team, but I think they're better at what is needed to win in the finals. I think that Miami's game sometimes can be a little spotty. It's a little unpredictable. Although it's consistent in how they play, it's not always consistent in how they play it, if that makes sense. So for me, I tend to go with the team that even when they're not at their best, they're still very much close to winning the game. I mean, if you watch that game too, Denver, like I said, did not look good. This was not a team that I would say, oh, they're looking great, they're going to win it. Even in the beginning, they were lethargic. They didn't really look as sharp. It kind of was dragging a little bit. Miami came out. All that energy was in their favor. And that game ended up being, a 2-point difference? So for me, I tend to lean towards a team like that. I tend to lean towards the better seeded team. I always had it being Denver. I always had it being Denver in 6, and I'm going to stick with that one.
Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah, Miami does need to show me something heading into Game 4.
You nervous, Corey? That sounds like a nervous man right there.
I'm not. I would like to see them get a win, but I hope they win the right way in Game 4. I still think this is going to go 7, right? Because really, look at the schedule moving forward. Look at the schedule moving forward. I think each team just wins. Well, of course, I think the Heat's going to win that last game. But if each team wins at home for the rest of the series, it goes to 7. But then that would be Denver winning in 7. So I don't think the Heat lose 2 in a row at home. I don't see that being the case. And then when they come back to Miami, I think they take that one too. So I think the series still does go to 7.
So what's my bet, Corey? What's my bet?
I think wait to Game 7 and then see how those teams look.
If it goes to Game 7,
don't take betting advice from this man.
If it goes,
we'll go broke.
I'm hot. Liv will be proud of me. I'm hot right now. You haven't been watching, Ashley. Come on, look. If it goes to Game point too, so if it goes to Game 7, I'm betting on the Heat. They're guttier.
Do you honestly think? Let's put fandom aside.
Right.
Corey. Let's start really there. Let's look at the X's and O's of this game, right? Miami's offense, for all intents and purposes,
Ashley, I keep telling you this. I want to look in their eyes. Why you not listening to me? Why you want to put you said put all the other stuff to the side?
I'm saying let's put the fandom. Let's put the fact we're in Miami and it's let's put all that aside and let's really look at the X's and O's of this game for a second, or the series rather. Miami's offense is not always the most reliable. There's a lot of things that have to go right for this team to go ahead and win. Let's not forget this. I believe they were top 3, if not the worst shooting team all regular season. There's a reason for that. So let's not act like, this offense is bulletproof and all they need is this offense. It's not. There's holes in it. Whereas you look at Denver, that offense has been reliable and consistent the entire season from top to bottom. That makes a difference. So while I am very impressed with what the Miami Heat have done, you also have to look at it from a lens of what they have done in the past, meaning this season. And this is a team that offensively struggled, which is why they were a play-in seed, which is why they were one of the worst shooting teams. That doesn't all of a sudden just go away from your identity because you're in the finals. It still finds its way to seep through the cracks, and you see it in the games that they lose. So I don't know how you think the series goes 7 with a team playing like that.
I saw
Also,
Liv. You want to jump in there?
Do
Liv?
you have anything to add there?
Fandom aside, I'm going to continue with the fandom aside here. I think if I will never tell a fan to not be excited about their team winning, because I'm the first person to run to Twitter and start running my damn mouth every single time, and I'll keep doing
Sound
it
like
too.
Corey.
So
Sound like Corey.
I will never tell people not to celebrate a win, but what I will tell you is, if I were a Miami Heat fan, I would feel a whole lot comfortable if Game 2 was a blowout. They only won by 3. And the Nuggets did a lot of things wrong. A lot went wrong for this Nuggets team. So if I'm a Heat fan, I'd feel a whole lot better if, okay, yeah, the Nuggets didn't look that great, but man, we whooped them. 20 points we put on them. We are good. That was a comfortable win. That was not a comfortable win. And the Nuggets did not look good. There were a lot of things working against Denver in that game. And the Miami Heat still couldn't win comfortably. So it's like, yes, they did have a dominant game. And I'm not saying that the reason that they won is because the Nuggets looked bad, but I think that helped. And so it would feel a little bit better, I think, if I were a Heat fan, if Game 2 was a blowout. If it was like, okay, Miami showed up, they absolutely knocked the Nuggets out of the water. They're done. They got the momentum, but they only won by 3. And the Nuggets, to me, looked the worst they've looked in the postseason so far. So I wouldn't feel entirely comfortable to go, I'm betting the Miami Heat in 7 when the one game they've won so far was ugly for the Nuggets and it was only won by 3 points.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say right there. I wish it was a blowout for the sake of Miami fans, but it was not.
I'm listening to you guys, Corey. All I can say is, if it goes 7, I'm going to the sports book. I'm going to the sports. Ashley, you gonna drop
7? There'll be a lot of surprise people, including myself.
I'm gonna force Ashley to bet too. You know, Liv. She's actually getting hit with the bug a little bit. You know, she's like, I don't bet. Yeah, remember?
She said, huh?
What was it, like a couple weeks ago? She hit on something, or she said something.
Anthony Davis.
And then
remember
she was like,
Anthony Davis points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, remember? And it was like,
Ash.
Yeah, you hit on something.
That's only because I know ball, and I'm somebody who bets things. I don't bet money. Like, I'll bet like
the glasses you owe me.
If I glasses or bags or pedicures or manicures. I don't bet my own money. Like,
that's fair.
But think about this, Ashley. Think about this. A pedicure costs, your pedicure probably costs, how much is your pedicure? My pedicure is about $50 plus I do a nice tip. I usually tip about $20. So
what kind of pedicure are you getting that's $50?
I just want, it's not even about the pedicure. Cut my toes real quick. All right. Take all that little skin, athlete's feet out of there. Okay, boom. And then you know how the feet be crusty.
You have athlete's foot and you're going to get a pedicure?
Hey, where's the tenactin? Can you give me the tenactin out of my bag? Throw it to me. So anyways, I do that, but the pedicure for me, where it gets expensive, you gotta do at least 15 minutes on each foot massage. I'm investing in a massage. So that's why it takes so long.
And it's only $50?
And that's how much it is. Yeah, it's like they ask for the premium because I think pedicures is like what, $25?
I've never gotten a pedicure before.
Here you go, right here.
You've never gotten a pedicure before, Corey?
I've never gotten a pedicure.
You played football.
I know. My feet need it too. I think
You'll love it.
I think I might need a pedicure soon.
Yeah, that boy's suffering.
Yeah, wow. But I was saying that before we got off on this, and here's I gotta spray them things down. Like
they be howling.
Y'all never had to use this, Ashley or Liv? Y'all never use
what is that called? What is that brand?
Come on, y'all know I can't read, bro.
Lotrimin.
There you go. He keep asking me to read stuff right now.
I got you, B.
Lotrimin.
I don't even know what that is.
What about, what is it called? Tenactin?
Yeah, Tenactin. I think Madden did that one, right? Yeah. Tough acting, Tenactin.
Yeah. Ashley, y'all never, so you ladies never had athlete's foot before.
Signs?
I've never had athlete's foot, no.
So what it is, it's like clinically proven to cure most athlete's foot, antifungal. So it's a fungus, I guess, right?
Ooh.
Relieves itching,
burning.
burning.
Athlete's foot is a fungus.
Cracking and scaling, right there. All right, Liv, you're kind of quiet over there. It seems like you may have had athlete's foot once or twice.
No, I think I'm just losing my appetite. I haven't eaten lunch yet. All
right, so how about we move on then? Let me give you guys another topic. Phoenix Suns.
Corey's like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
we talking about feet.
It was getting a little weird there. All right, Phoenix Suns. They're pondering future with point guard Chris Paul. According to Woj of ESPN, the Phoenix Suns have notified him that they'll potentially cut him before the June 28th deadline in his contract if they don't come up with a trade proposal for him. So, Paul spent the last 3 years in Phoenix. He's actually earned All-Star recognition in 2 of them. But if he were to return next year, he's going in the year 19, guys. Actually, I wanted to ask you first, what's next for Chris Paul? Do you think he returns? Do you think, he's included in a trade package, sent somewhere else? What happens here?
So have they officially moved him, or they're expected to move him? They're going to waive him.
Yeah, they're expected to move him. Because like I said, in his contract, it says, there's a clause, I guess, if they want to trade him, or if they intend to cut him, they have to notify him before June 28th. So what they're saying right now is that they're considering including him in a trade package, actually with DeAndre Ayton. That's what the reports are saying. So it's either they include him in a trade package and send him off, or if they don't find anything, they'll cut him.
It's going to be hard to move Chris Paul because the last few years have not really worked in favor of his stock, right? So he makes a boatload of money, but he doesn't really have the health when you need it the most, right? So that presents an issue because you want that veteran leadership, you want his skill set, and for whatever you say about Chris Paul, you can't deny he's one of the best point guards to ever play the game. So you want that when you need it the most. And he has shown one way or another, some way, shape, or form, he is always hurt at the worst possible time. And it's unfortunate because I don't think, I don't think players are out there getting hurt on purpose. It's a luck thing, right? And he has bad luck when it comes to injuries. Unfortunate luck, I'll say, when it comes to injuries. I would say they're going to have a hard time moving him because of that. I think the best option for the Phoenix Suns, and Chris Paul has to be realistic about where he is at this stage in his career, and that's always a hard thing to do. I would bring him back, but I would have to cut his salary. I'm not paying him what we're paying him. It's an astronomical amount of money for someone who's not able to give me what I need. If he's able to renegotiate that contract, I 100% don't see a reason why the Phoenix Suns don't bring him back on a vet minimum or more than a vet minimum. But you can't be paying him what he's being paid now. If he doesn't take a pay cut, I would be pressed to be like, all right, well, let's test the market, but I don't think it's going to work in your favor. He doesn't, right. I personally don't think he has that many options.
Yeah, what do you think, Liv? Because, what I was thinking is, if Chris Paul is included in a trade package, what team is going to want to take on, the type of contract that he has? So what options do you think right now Chris Paul has on the table, rather?
I think the landing spot that I see the most is a team like the Lakers. But back to what Ashley was saying, back to the betting conversation of money management. As a team, if you're looking from a money management perspective, Chris Paul's kind of a liability, exactly what Ashley was saying, that when you need him most, he becomes unavailable. There's injuries that he battles back and forth. And not only that, I don't want to dog on 19th year veteran here, but even when he is available, he's not always showing up. I remember very vividly last postseason, he had one game that was about 6 points and the next game where he's got 25. So it's one of those conversations, kind of like talking about a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he's been great for years and years and years, but what are you doing right now? What are we going to see from him right now? As a team, are you willing to spend money on somebody when you haven't really seen his worth? If you're looking at the money standpoint, his worth has not matched the money that he's making in the last few years. You look at his entire resume, all right, one of the best point guards in the league, but right now, are you willing to spend that kind of money on him? I'm not sure. If I had to pick a landing spot, I'd probably go Lakers, but I'm with Ash. I think he makes too much money.
Yeah,
I think Lakers is a good spot. Also, I think the only again, he's making too much money, and if you're going to go after Kyrie, like the reports are, you can't pay both of them.
No.
So Chris Paul, also at this stage in his career, wherever he ends up, whether it's back in Phoenix, whether it's the Lakers, whether it's the Clippers, there needs to be a real conversation about load managing him. And I know that's a word that people don't like. And I know people are like, oh my God, load management. He is not somebody who can play an entire season at this stage in his career.
I won't play Chris Paul until halfway through. I won't play Chris Paul until March 25th.
The mid-mark of the season?
March 25th. Activate Chris Paul.
It's an awfully specific date.
Huh? Yeah, I
That's
know
an
my
awfully
birth.
specific date.
Yeah, because I was going to say March 23rd, but I was like, well, that'd be like narcissistic of me if I use my birthday. I don't know. All this shit went through my head to pick this number within like 2 seconds. Like March 25th is Sorry, guys. It's the shot, Ashley. You made me take a shot. I feel like you made me do this.
One shot? What are you, a lightweight?
Yeah, I'm a lightweight. No, but listen. We have Andre Drummond here. Andre Drummond was on the show yesterday.
2 days ago.
2 days ago?
2 days ago, yeah.
I'm off today. Golly.
Oh, it's all good, man.
All right, so he was on the show. But anyways, he was just here 45 minutes ago. No, longer now. An hour and 30 minutes. He sat in your chair, Ashley, and we had this conversation. So before he went to go hoop, he stopped in and he's like, and I asked him, I said, what's your thoughts on CP3? He starts smiling and laughing. I'm like, why are you laughing? He said,
because he knows.
He said, man, this is nothing but LeBron and the Lakers. This is him. He said he'll be in LA by the end of the week. So, Liv, you said it. Ashley, you doubled down on it. And there's a bunch of people in the chat saying that CP3 to the Lakers sounds about right. And I just found that interesting that Andre Drummond, that was the first thought that came to his mind, was the Lakers and LeBron written all over this. And it was more so from CP3. Like the way he said it was like, remember, Corey, you were sitting in here. Mm-hmm. He was like, yo, it sounds like LeBron made the call was like, bro, like, get out of there. Find a way to get out of there. Mm-hmm. You don't need to be there. Come over here, vet team. You don't got to deal with the knucklehead young boys. You can come over here. We run it the way we run it, and we go win a championship. But when you talk about money, Ashley, let me ask you this, right? Can you see him saying, you know what? I'll play for $2-3 million or whatever it is. Go get Kyrie. I just won a championship. Because if you think about it, he's made money. Not only on the court, not just off the court from an endorsement standpoint, but from a venture standpoint as well. He's one of the most sophisticated investors out there, certainly as an athlete, right? But I'm stacking him up against some of the other, hedge funds and venture guys, well, I would say angel investor. I would consider him more of like an angel investor. So he's made a shit ton of money. The only thing that he's missing is what? Is that championship? Is that real postseason success? So Ashley, can you see him taking less money to go play with the Lakers and so they can bring in like a Kyrie Irving?
Well, one, I really hope that's not the conversation him and LeBron had, because that would be ridiculous. Come win a championship in LA. Like, there's a lot that needs to happen for LA to win a championship. Let's not. We've seen him put together the old man squad before. It didn't work in his favor. Like, I really hope that was not the selling point of like getting Chris Paul to force his way out of Phoenix. Can I see him taking a cut? Yes. Do I think it's going to be all the way down to $2-3 million? No. And that's going to be problematic. I think Chris Paul may have a false sense of the type of player that he is right now at this stage in his career. Because there have been reports, before getting to Phoenix, and when there was conversations of him possibly leaving Phoenix, and before re-signing in Phoenix, what kind of deal he was looking for. And even at that stage in his career, he wasn't that kind of a player. I mean, this is a Chris Paul who thinks that he's still Lob City Chris Paul and wants to be paid like that. So that's problematic. When you have somebody whose level of availability and health, because the skill set's still there in aspects, even his skill set has fallen back a little bit, does not match where their mindset is. That's a problem. So, for me, do I see him taking a pay cut to play in LA with LeBron? Yeah, if anybody can go ahead and convince him to do it, it's LeBron. Do I see him taking the kind of pay cut they would need to still build a team that can remotely perform and win? No,
Ashley,
I don't.
One of the biggest, well, certainly the biggest sports news globally, Messi. He just did it. We just talked about it. Messi walks away from $400 million a year.
$145 million, though.
What do you mean? That's a big difference, though, Ashley.
It's a big difference, but we're talking about Messi, who's made $145 million. Who's making $145 million.
He has so many endorsements.
Finally got his World Cup trophy. We're talking about Messi, who also is going to have stock in Apple and Adidas, and also sometimes players are different. Players have different mindsets. I don't see Chris Paul pulling a Messi and saying, yeah, I'm not going to go to Barcelona because all these people are going to have to take pay cuts and I don't want to be responsible for that. And I just don't want that, to go into a team knowing that I'm only there because all these people had to take pay cuts to get me there. I personally don't believe Chris Paul gives a damn. I think he still wants to get paid a certain amount of money, and I don't think he cares where it comes from or how they get it. I just think he wants it. And that's a problem because this team will not win with LeBron, Kyrie, and Chris Paul.
Watch this, and then I'll let y'all move on. Would you want him in the Knicks uniform?
No.
Okay.
That was a quick answer, Ashley.
Yeah. I'm good with Jalen Brunson. I'm good with Jalen Brunson.
Right.
Thanks. That Chris Paul era has passed.
I'm definitely taking the Jalen Brunson over him. All right, so we'll see what happens with Chris Paul moving forward. Guys, we got some more news. So Damian Lillard made an appearance on Showtime's The Last Stand with Brian Custer. And he listed the Miami Heat and the Brooklyn Nets as potential landing spots in the event he was actually traded from the Trailblazers. We got a clip from that episode. Let's take a look at it real quick. Run video.
Before we come out of it.
Everybody keeps saying Damian Lillard is going to be traded to the Knicks. Damian Lillard's going to be traded to the Heat. Damian Lillard should be traded to the Celtics. Damian Lillard's going to be traded to the Nets. If one of those trades went through out of those teams, which one will you be like, that's not too bad?
Miami, obviously. Miami is the obvious one. And Bam is my dog. Bam is my dog for real. But I think Miami the obvious one. Brooklyn is another obvious one because Mikal Bridges is my dog too. So
we'll be talking about that a little bit later. But Ashley, Damian Lillard, does this suggest that he might be open to potentially parting ways, with Portland? What are your thoughts on what he said there?
I don't know, and I honestly don't care anymore. I'm so tired of this conversation. I feel like I have this conversation about Dame once an NBA season, sometimes more. Mm-hmm. I'm just, it's kind of like at the end of the day, only Dame can change Dame's trajectory. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, he kind of teeters the line, right? He sprinkles these breadcrumbs of possibilities of moving on, and you get, as a Dame fan, you get excited because I think that Dame's one of those players, even if you're not a Dame fan, I feel like he's one of those players you want to see win because he has done it the way of the old school guys before him. He hasn't really requested trades. He's tried to do it in one city, and you want him to reap the benefits of that. You kind of want to see, in this case, the good guy win. The bad guys are the guys who jump from city to city to, increase their chances of winning a championship. And you kind of root against those guys. That's why everyone loves to root against Kevin Durant, because they hate the way he did it. Dame's one of those guys that you love the way he's done it. You love the way he's approached his career.
Do we really still? Really, Ashley? Or are we, like you said, we're tired of it?
I'm saying
and then also, are we
people who value that, they appreciate that about Dame. Like, for people who really value that, they appreciate the fact that he's stayed in one city and has tried to make it work.
But now, is it working against him though? Right? Like, think about this. It's to the point now where we're like, yo, bro, we get it. We love you. Right? Like, we want to see you win. We want what's best for you. What are you doing?
No, I agree. I'm one of those people at this point. Like, I'm a huge Dame fan, and I'm just kind of like Dame. In one conversation, you'll hear him say, we have all the pieces that we need in Portland. We have a great group of young guys. If we can't get it done here in Portland, then, I don't know what the future holds. And then you'll hear him say things like, Miami, New York, Boston, wherever he said, Brooklyn. And it's like, okay, but which one is it, Dame? Like, I hear what you're saying, and I hear you, but I also know you're going back to Portland. Right. So, while this is fun to kind of talk about and, question, what would Dame look like in a Miami uniform? We all know that Dame's going back to Portland.
I don't know.
Probably 99% sure he's going back there.
Yeah. Liv,
or
what's your
Brooklyn.
thoughts, though? Because I thought how quickly he answered to those hypothetical trades, like, suggested something. But I don't know. What you think, Liv?
I would like to believe that it does, but I'm with Ash. It's the same old thing, different day. I think he's flirting with the idea, but I'm not sure it'll really land. I mean, when I look at the teams that they talked about, the Heat don't need Dame. I mean, they're in the NBA Finals. They're doing just fine. The Celtics could potentially use a guard, but I don't think that he's going to feel as needed as he wants to feel at a place like Boston. The Knicks certainly don't need him. Brunson's been doing what he needs to do. So I don't. To me, Dame's a lover boy, which I think is why he taps into that loyalty so much. I think he really is a lover boy, and I think he likes feeling needed. And in those other places, I don't think he's as needed as he is in Portland. Like in Portland, Dame is that guy. Now, if he goes to any of these other teams, he no longer is the most important. And I love Dame. It's like I don't even like to criticize Dame because I think he's just awesome all around. But I think he's a lover boy, and I think that he'll find the most love and attention in Portland.
So
I think Brandon wants you to justify the lover boy.
Totally. You ever see that meme of the guy where he's walking with his girl and he turns around and he's like, but he doesn't let go of his girl's hand. That's Dame. Like
that meme. He's totally
right. He's holding hands with Portland, but he's got a wandering eye to see what else is out there. But he's not making no jump. He's not divorcing his wife. He's not breaking up with his girl. He's comfortable.
Boy.
What about
While he may dabble, he may slide in a DM here or there, send a little eye emoji, a little wink. Double tap on the photo.
Heart the story. Yeah.
He heart the story a few times, hit her up with a what are you doing in the DMs, but never, respond when she hits him back. He's not leaving his main chick. He's not prepared to do it.
With all that being said, Ashley, I'm going to say this. Walking in slippery places, you eventually fall. Dame Lillard, because of everything you just said, right? He's moving on. This is the off season of Dame Lillard.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And it's going to be the biggest story in NBA, this off season. Dame Lillard does it. He finally did it. The lover boy, finally flirted too much and got caught.
He got caught slipping.
Right. It'd be that one video, Ash, like, oh, no, you went too far.
Big, you gone too far.
Right. Yeah. I think it's happening. I really do. Because, Ash, what has he done, over the last 5 years having this conversation? He's always used that as an opportunity to double down on his loyalty and how he approaches the game. He didn't do that this time. Dame didn't come out and say, yo, no, y'all know how I feel. I ain't leaving Portland. I'm not chasing. It can come to me, but I'm not chasing this way. He didn't do that. He entertained it, which tells me that the flirting is turning into a potential affair, right? Like, might be some agents calling and connecting. There might be some teams finally reaching out.
But it's also a very expensive affair. It's an expensive divorce. He makes $60 million a year.
He can't get that anywhere else. It'll be a trade.
Who's gonna pay him that though?
Hey,
especially if they don't need him.
You heard the second.
The thing is, it's like you have to look at it outside of the talent. You have to look at the money, right? So, and I don't know if he makes $60 million. That may be exaggeration. I think it's close to that.
I think that is close though. He is one of the highest.
Like he makes a lot of money, right? And in order to go ahead and trade for a player with that kind of a salary, you have to gut a lot of your team. And I love Dame, love him. We're not talking a 25-year-old Damian Lillard. So if you're a team like the New York Knicks, if you're a team like the Brooklyn Nets, a lot of the teams that he mentioned, if you're a team like the Miami Heat, how much of your team are you willing to part with to get a player like Dame? And then also you have to look at it from what can you go ahead and build with him on your team now that you have gutted a lot of your supporting cast to get him. What's left? And you don't want to be in a position where you're just relying on two guys to lead a team and you don't have anything else to surround him with. That's the problem he has in Portland, which is why he hasn't been able to win. You need to still have him with a team that is conducive to help him win. Okay. And I just don't know, with that kind of a salary, the teams that he has mentioned. Now, if there are teams that are not on that list, that he's willing to go to, okay. But we're talking about teams who are in the NBA Finals, like Liv said. We're talking about the New York Knicks, who are just one piece away, but have a really good supporting cast. They are.
Ash, you're gone too far. Ash, you're gone too far.
You see Ash steal it? BC's probably talking.
I was riding with
I was
Ash.
Ashley.
If I ain't cutting you off, Ash, you know I'm riding with you. Ashley,
The
come
Knicks are
on.
one superstar away.
Oh,
The Knicks are
That's a lot of teams.
I didn't
Well,
say
not
from,
gonna
I
be
didn't say
Dame,
from a
though.
championship. I said from a deeper playoff run or even a finals appearance. They're just one piece away. They don't need to gut that entire team. Boston doesn't need to gut their entire team. Brooklyn doesn't need to gut their entire team.
Thank
You
you.
saw what that
Thank you for
Boston team looked
acknowledging
like when
Brooklyn.
Katie and Kyrie left. That supporting cast is pretty. They can win games. It's pretty impressive.
Thank
Like
you
you
for it.
need another star. I just don't know if a $60 million price tag is something you're willing to pay when you're not that far gone.
Let's go to the betting expert, the betting business financial manager, okay? Money manager. Liv, what's your bet on Dame? Does he stay or does he go?
He stays.
Damn.
In typical lover boy fashion, he stays put.
Damn. Okay.
If we being honest, right? Like Portland's roster isn't that bad. That's why I just don't know why they're not able to have success.
They're not bad.
Because if you're Portland and you draft a guy like Scoot Henderson, you
But then you gotta wait on him
have a
for.
squad.
But then you gotta wait on him for 3 years.
Three? You don't.
No, you don't.
I think
Scoot
he contributes right
Henderson?
away.
What? How long did it take? And I'm not trying to argue. I'm just. It's a real question. Okay. How long did it take KD to like really dominate him and Russ? Was it year? Was it year 3? They made it to. It wasn't the finals. Did they make it to the finals together and got smoked? What about the Cavs? Was it?
I think maybe a better
No, but
comparison to be
we're
like
talking more about a player coming out of the draft,
Yeah.
and being
No,
NBA ready.
that's why I brought that up because that's the first like case that came to mind. It's like you have a special talent like KD. When did KD really become KD? When he was able to really impact, the game in a way where his team can have success in postseason. And that's the thing with Dame. It's like, yeah, you can go get a player like that, Corey. All right, but is he really the player that's going to get you over the hump? Because usually a player like that might take a couple years for him to really morph into what he's going to be. If I'm Dame, I'm not waiting a couple more years. I'm just not.
Yeah, man.
Okay,
Yes.
but he also has to be realistic about the situation, right? Here's where my frustration with Dame comes into play. I understand not wanting to wait because you're of a certain age and you don't want to wait to go ahead and make a run. But you knew what it was when you signed up, Dame. There was a window of opportunity for you to leave because that was always going to be the problem in Portland. Once CJ left and that team kind of started to dismantle and they started to draft younger and there were younger guys now in that roster, there's always going to be growing pains with a team like that. It's never going to be an instant fix. You're not drafting Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? And even Michael Jordan needed some work.
Yeah, but most athletes think that, it takes some time for an athlete to finally realize that, like, oh shit, I need help from management, or I do need more help here. Most athletes think eventually it's going to happen this year. You even I forgot, there was somebody.
10 years to figure that out?
Yeah, it takes time. It take 100%. It took me damn near, I'm a slow blinker at times. It took me 11 years to finally realize, like, bro, stop going to these bad teams. The Jets,
Brandon.
damn, the Dolphins. Like, come on,
Brandon.
enough's enough.
Every single one of us.
Like,
Brandon,
Ashley, let me tell you this. Here's my classic moment. Hold on real quick.
If it took you 11 years, you a real slow blinker.
Ashley, listen to this.
Because-
Ashley, year 10. Okay, I'm still kind of in my prime. Another big year, 1,500 yards, and that all-pro year. I got an opportunity to get traded from Chicago. Remember, Jay Cutler was the quarterback to the New England Patriots. New England Patriots wanted to trade for me the year they won the Super Bowl. I looked at it and I said, man, Jay Cutler looked real good. He might win MVP this year the way he's showing up to OTAs. And I chose to stay in Chicago with Jay Cutler than take the New England Patriots trade with freaking Tom Brady.
Well, you a real slow blinker, Brandon. Really slow.
You kinda like Dame, you
one
loyal.
eye per minute blinker. Because,
Like one Mississippi per blink.
right, not even 5 Mississippis per blink. Like it's just, there comes a point where it's like you have to look at your situation. And there have been multiple instances with this Portland Trailblazers team that has shown that it's either one or two options. It's either going to be a lot of work and you just got to stick through it, or B, it's going to be a lot of work and you just say, listen, I don't want to put in the work. Here we are. Like, I tried it. I did it for X amount of years, but I'm not willing to do this at this stage in my career. And there's nothing wrong with that. But let's not go ahead and pretend like the writing hasn't been on the wall of what this Trailblazers team was going to be.
Let's bet.
For X amount of years.
You like
Stevie Wonder saw it coming. It's not that it's not that hard to figure it
on
out.
His iPad.
This was a team that
You know what, though? Actually, she brings up a good point about the years thing, because I feel like the problem in this league, I know that we're stuck in the ring culture. Like, that's not going to go away. But it's like the timing of everything that I think is where we get very thrown off, because these superstars want to go to a team and win right now. It's like, well, it doesn't always work like that. Like, there's an adjustment period. There's a, like Ashley said, money management situation of, okay, is this person worth 3 of these people that we've now built chemistry with? It doesn't happen overnight. But then you've got the other side of the spectrum, the lover boy side of the spectrum, where, okay, how many years go by before you go, this is not the place that I'm going to be successful and win a ring? And maybe he doesn't care about winning. I mean, to me right now, that's the impression I get, that he doesn't care about winning. Because if he did, I think he would have left a long time ago.
Well, you know what?
I don't think he cares.
Oh, my God.
And that's fine. Listen, not everybody wins rings. Some people are in it to hoop, to go down in the history books, which Dame will, to make money, to provide generational wealth for their family. Like, some people are okay. Like Carmelo
bet that
said,
bag
like,
that I owe you.
Carmelo even said it himself. Yeah, I didn't win a ring, but I'm one of the best to ever do it. AI is the same way. Not everybody wins a ring, and it's okay.
Bet the bag, Ashley.
Like, what do you mean?
Bet the bag. Don't you owe me glasses and I owe you a bag, allegedly. So if that's true, if our fact checker will say, yes, Brandon, you owe Ashley a bag, then bet the bag that double or nothing that Dame leaves Portland. Bet it.
When? Leaves Portland when?
This offseason, I just said it. The lover boy is gone. The lover boy left. He's leaving. That's what's going to be the headline. Lover boy leaves.
But listen, not running.
Look, she don't want to bet it. She don't want to bet it. You feel so good about it. Liv, you said the same thing. You want to get in on this action?
Sure.
All right.
Don't take the bait.
I'm the better around here.
Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait.
I know how to money manage. So let's bring it on.
Well, listen.
Let's bring it on. I'm ready to go.
Listen, not winning rings is actually a good segue to our next topic, right? To stay on the topic of superstar point guards, James Harden, right? According to Shams Charania, James Harden is torn between his former team in the Houston Rockets and the 76ers, right? He spent his first 9 seasons with the Rockets. Has spent the last 2 seasons with Philly. I know. And right now, he's planning to decline his $35 million player option heading into next offseason, and that is to pursue a long-term deal, right? So, I wanted to ask you guys, right, like what's James Harden's, mind? Where's his mind at right now? And I wanted to ask you too, like, is he at the point in his career, where he's not even really playing for rings anymore? He's just playing for that contract just to kind of, his last run in the league.
Let me go quickly here, and then I'll throw it to you guys. Let me go quickly. I'm walking away from, at this point in your career, you walk away from $35 million. That's a lot of cash, right? And then you're considering Houston. I'm just connecting all the dots here, so just think out loud with me, right? What this tells me is all about money, right? We know he live a lavish lifestyle. He always on the PJs, always, you know what I'm saying, got all the new gear. I don't know if it's sponsored or not. So if you're willing to walk away from a situation where you're making really good money this year, short-sighted, okay, and have an opportunity to potentially contend, to go to the Houston Rockets for a long-term deal, just tells me it's all about the money. That's what it is. Now, I'm sure he got the right people around him doing the right things, but James Harden, to me, Liv, sounds like he might need you to come in and help him on the financial side. Meaning that I'm talking about making that right financial decision, because I don't want to say like I'm not trying to imply anything else. I'm just saying, like, in this moment, is it $35 million, for this next year? Mm-hmm. Do we take that, or do we take this long-term deal and obviously the upside is greater from a financial standpoint.
Is it about money or is it about attention? Because
or the strip club.
You know, I mean, I just think that we've been here before. We've heard this before. I just feel like we've got a bit of a drama queen on our hands sometimes with James Harden, and I love the way he plays. Is it really about money, or does he just want to go somewhere where he's number one?
Right.
I don't know. I feel like he obviously he had a pretty good postseason run here with the 76ers, but it wasn't about him. It was about the MVP. It was about Joel Embiid. And I just feel like we've been through this before with James Harden, where he's very easily unsatisfied, it feels. Very hard to satisfy this man because he is quick to play hopscotch with teams around the league. So I don't know. I think it's more about attention than money, honestly.
James Harden doesn't want to win for real. He wants to win via convenience. And what I mean by that is he doesn't really want to put the work in that at this stage in his career. At least that's how it comes across, required to win. He wants to do it by the most convenient, road most traveled means necessary. Because if he really wanted to win for real, why are you leaving Philly? Why are you running from a team that is a lot more prone to win than Houston is? Like, for me, it means that you are prioritizing money, which you have plenty of. Right. You are prioritizing lifestyle. You are prioritizing, what Liv said, kind of being the center of attention before actually winning. Because if you actually wanted to win, your situation right now is conducive for that. So I wish that, and it's unfortunate because you see glimpses of James Harden and you're reminded of who he can be, but then that's not who he is consistently. And he's not that consistently because it's not that important to him. And I feel like we have to have that conversation. I feel like it's about time that we have this conversation about James Harden and realize for him, there's a lot of other things within the world of basketball that come before actually doing the work and actually grinding and actually winning a chip. He, at a lot of times, comes across lazy, unmotivated, uninterested. It's just not a player who gives you the maximum effort that he can give you because the skill set is still there. It's not like this is a player whose skill set is gone. This is a player who just, for some reason, prioritizes a lot of other things above winning. But if he can win, he wants to do it in the most comfortable, convenient for him environment. And that's just not the case. He doesn't want the smoke. He doesn't want the grind. He just wants to go someplace and have a championship handed to him. And James, look, like, you're 30-something years old. That's not going to happen, big boy. So you got to figure out what you want to do, like which direction you're going in. Well, and if it's to go to Houston and kick your feet up and be the king of the H-Town again and live that life, cool.
Ashley,
but if you're trying to win, I don't see how you go to Houston for that.
Ashley, B. Morale, who rocks with our show every single day, Christy O, Pamela, some others. I got to start adding more names because there's a lot more people that come back every single day. So he's in the chat, Ashley, and he says, James Harden just want triple doubles and chill with Lil Baby.
Probably. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Kicking it with
how you Liv? How you
That's
feel?
good.
How y'all feel about that, Corey? Liv, like how y'all feel about that? Where like grown men giving each other money for their birthdays and stuff.
Yeah, that's weird. Just share like an experience together.
I think Little Baby just gifted, or James Harden gave him like 100,000. Little Baby.
Why is that weird, Corey?
I'm just. How
Well,
y'all feel?
I think it's weird to give a man 100,000 and then that man gives you another 100,000 back. Like, what did y'all even do?
Just keep the money.
Yeah. What did
But
y'all
like,
do at
how
that
is that
point?
any different than like just playing devil's advocate here? How is that any different than say like if you and Brandon, exchanged, I don't know, Rolexes of $100,000 worth in price? Like it's the same thing. It's a cash value instead of the actual product value. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing.
I'm not materialistic
level
though.
of, like,
Well,
richness, they don't need to exchange gifts. Like they just buy it for yourself. Like I feel like like
That's
Ash and
true.
I our version of friendship is we book a flight and we go somewhere together.
An
Like
experience,
we
right?
could probably afford to buy our own bags and things that we want. So we don't gift that to each other because let's go like have an experience. Like you don't need to gift little baby a watch. He can buy himself a watch. It starts to get a little like maybe we have like little like we're fanboys of each other.
As a man, you know,
that's why it comes off like that a little bit.
Yeah, it comes across weird.
It does. It's very like, it's like just go somewhere with each other. Go hang out.
Yeah, it's not even like, and they're not even like. It's one thing if it's like a custom piece of jewelry where it's like a antique watch or like that's cool because then that's like meaningful. You have to search for that or like an antique car or something like that. You know, like a Thunderbird or that's cool because then it's like there's more like. It's more of a unique thing about it. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I just went to the Maybach lot and I was like, oh, give me a Maybach. I'm gonna go ahead. Like, you know what I mean? Like $100,000 handing that in cash to somebody is kind of like
about the money.
Thanks. I had that in the ATM.
Listen, you know that he's telling us it's about the money. It's all about the money. Whether you give me a gift. Or are we talking about basketball? Money. I like James Harden. I do.
It's not. Listen, that's fine, Brandon. But let's not add James Harden. You
got a Harden.
Which is fine, bro. Like I'm not mad at this at all. But like, let's be honest, James. Like you don't really want to win. You're not always in the best shape. Your first step is not remotely close to the same. Like you have taken a dive in the type of player that you are. Like you're running from the grind, and that's okay. If you want to just go to Houston and be James Harden of Houston and live that life, that's fine. But let's stop acting like you want to win. You don't really want to win that bad. That's cool. That's okay.
He tried. He took a shot in Brooklyn, and we imploded.
Dame and Harden are basketball players for two very completely different reasons. Like the two people we've talked about now are. They hoop for very, very different reasons.
Definitely.
Harden likes the lifestyle it comes with. Dame likes the game.
If you're Joel Embiid though, and you're seeing James Harden, with in this storyline and whatnot, what are you thinking? Like, cause he's somebody because we're all here on this show saying, nah, he doesn't want a championship. He doesn't want a championship. You think Joel Embiid's thinking the same thing? And at that point, are you like, yo, come on, James, like we actually want to win here, bro? Like if you want to go to Houston, just go to Houston.
Yes. 100%. This is Joel Embiid who was teammates with James Harden when Philly had maybe 5 days off, and the man is in Vegas getting into slap fights with bouncers. Like the man's he's not serious. He's not serious. Like why are you not in the gym? Like why are you not just chilling at home? Like we have a series we're approaching. I get it. We ended our last series a little bit early. Does that mean you got to fly to Vegas? You can't just chill for a couple of Joel Embiid knows exactly the type of player James Harden is. And maybe it gets masked a little bit because unlike some of the other players he's played with in the past, he does give you more productivity when he's at his best. And maybe that sometimes softens the blow of who he really is, the player at this moment in his career. But Joel Embiid's not oblivious. He knows what time it is. Yeah. He sees it. I mean, I would hope he sees it. I don't think he's unaware of it. And if you're his teammate, you're kind of like, yeah, this is not. Joel Embiid wants to win. That man wants to win. And
he wanted to win an MVP.
He wants to win a chip.
Now he does.
Not an MVP he cried about, like he cried for. We're not talking about that one. We're talking about
How was he actually holding up the trophy?
No, he was crying. He was crying to win the MVP. I'm not knocking him for crying for winning. Let's not negate the fact that he
stop getting messy. That's my job. That's my job to get messy. Don't get
Harden
messy.
Should be a Grizzly.
What you say?
They got that energy out there, that lifestyle energy. Like we forget we're hoopers. We just like this. We like this energy it brings.
God. Could you imagine James Harden Memphis
to Memphis? Oh my God, it would be an absolute like if the Grizzlies were to bring Harden on board after everything that has gone down, it would be like immediately pushing the self-destruction button. Like immediately.
No. That's the perfect. That's the perfect. That's the perfect OG for Ja Morant.
What?
Why not Atlanta?
Yo, they turned up. No, Ja Morant and James Harden.
You want to send? You want to send James Harden to Atlanta?
You talking about? Yeah.
So he could be closer to Lil Baby.
Them lemon pepper rings. Lil Baby and them lemon peppers. With the who said that? Liv trivia. Introducing the next segment in Paper Route, trivia. Who said I go to the strip club for lemon pepper wings for 100 betting dollars?
No Google.
Dang.
There's been a few people who've said that though.
No, this was legendary. This was like this was right in the pandemic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it Harden?
No.
Think about the bubble, Liv. Who got kicked? Who got in trouble for leaving the bubble?
Mm-hmm.
Who's in the strip clubs in the bubble?
You got it,
Who's breaking the COVID laws? Let me think.
A lot of people broke the COVID laws.
There's a wing named after him.
Right. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah. His face.
The
was
chicken
in my
wing
head.
named
Was
after
it
him.
AD?
Look at the chat, Liv. Look at the chat. Your people always want to take care of you. They telling you in the chat, Liv. Can you? Do you even have your?
I don't.
Oh,
Lemon Pepper Lou Williams.
Lou Williams.
Oh,
Pepper Lou.
He said that's why he goes to the strip clubs.
Yeah, because the story was that he during the bubble he was playing with the Clippers and he left the Clippers. He left the bubble. He had a funeral to go to, and that was the reason he did go to the funeral. But he was also later photographed in Magic City with Jack Harlow, and
Oh my God.
he said his reason for being there was that he always gets wings from there. He had just stopped there to get food. He wasn't there partying. He says, I get lemon pepper wings from Magic City all the time, which is why now when you go to Magic City, the lemon pepper Lou Williams special is like lemon pepper wings and fries or something. I don't know, something like that.
He's funny, but Wingstop's got some nice lemon pepper wings, so he could have come up with something a little more creative than that. A little bit more creative than that.
They do
Also,
have good
guys,
lemon
me not
pepper
knowing
wings.
that, I'm in my Denver bubble over here. We're not Denver doesn't have swag.
No.
We just don't have swag.
Liv, how long do you see yourself in Denver? Like, are you going to stay there forever? I mean, there's other nice cities out there. LA, we talked about Atlanta.
There are other nice. I hate LA. Hate LA.
Oh.
I don't like it. The energy there is too pretentious for me, and it's probably a me thing the way I read a lot of it. But I'm not a LA gal.
Okay.
Not at all. But I will move. At some point, I've said two things. I will move for work or for a relationship. Those are the two reasons that I would.
Whoa. Ashley, should she move for a relationship, Ashley?
That's a reasonable reason.
I've told her the only way she moves for a relationship is if she has a ring on her finger. Otherwise, she should stay her ass in Denver.
There you go.
Yeah.
And when Ashley says jump, I say how high. So don't worry about it.
Like,
Unless I've got a ring, we're staying put.
We don't move for relationships for boyfriends. That's insane. Like,
So where are we at in that process,
Fiancés
Liv?
only.
I mean, any potentials out there? How's the dating scene for you right now?
The Denver guys wear like Chaco sandals with socks. They
What's
don't
a
watch
Chaco
the NFL
sandal?
on Sunday. They're not watching the NFL on Sunday. They're hiking the side of a mountain. Like there's just to answer your question, it's non-existent.
Liv need to come to the East Coast.
Right?
Come to the East Coast on the South side.
Yeah, just like
why?
There's a lack of
Lou? It's
swagger
not
out
like
here, you guys.
it's not like the guys are any better on the East Coast.
There's some great guys out there. Y'all need to stop bashing. Y'all need to stop bashing the men. Everybody on Instagram and the social media world. Men is this, men is that. There's some great dudes out there.
Absolutely.
Great, faithful.
Yeah, you know what they say.
Point me to them.
They say
Point me to
most
'em.
of the great men in the world are either gay or married. That's the statistic.
That's crazy.
Really?
Well, how did they get
That's
married?
crazy.
Ooh, that's tough. That puts us in
Exactly.
a
They're
tough spot.
married. They're married because they're great guys, so they got locked up.
We just got to find Liv one. That's all. We got you.
That's it.
And Ashley. What you
And
mean?
Ashley,
Ashley's
yeah.
single
Well,
too.
you know,
Everybody on this show.
What you
Ashley
mean, you
what?
know?
Ashley seemed like she ain't ready, right? She says she needs some time right
To
now.
get
Ashley
married?
ready. No, Ashley ready.
Yeah.
Don't let her fool you.
I'm not to be married. I'm absolutely not ready to be married.
Ashley,
Yeah, see?
Ashley, if the right dude come along, okay, right now, today, boom. And Liv, we talk a lot about relationships. So this is not
nothing new.
Yeah, we do this a lot. If the right Liv, I'm telling you right now, if the right dude come along and boom, do all the right things, Ashley will say yes in 6 months and be married in 9.
That is a lot.
Facts.
Yo, Brandon, You don't know me. That's how I know you don't know me.
See?
That response right there, 6 months. It takes me sometimes 6 months to figure out a tattoo. You think I'm getting engaged in 6 months?
Yes.
He got to really sweep her off her feet.
It ain't sweep her off her feet. He got to like take control.
So you think she like forward speaking?
There's a balance. There's a balance though, because I'll tell you what, men love to say that they love like independent, confident women, and then they get one and they're like, "Yo, you settle down." And it's like, "Oh, I will do no such thing."
This is what you wanted,
like,
right?
Men pretend like they like big personalities and like a woman that knows how to make her own money and hustle, but then they get that and they're intimidated by it and they shrink in size and then they get all insecure and it's like, oh my God, I'm not doing this. I didn't come for like a play date, like hangout time, like I'm a little kid. Like, man up, puff up your chest and like, come on now.
Yeah, you tell him once, oh, I can't come today. I'm working. Oh, okay. So like
you hate me now.
Lying. Like, go get friends. Like, get a hobby. Do something. You're gonna be okay. I promise you.
I get the ick really easily too. Like if you come on too soon, then I'm like, I'm like grossed out. Like,
you know what my
doing too much.
Ick is? One of my biggest icks is like when you're talking to a guy, when you're getting to know a guy. It's one of my biggest icks. And maybe you've been texting back and forth for like, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks at most. And he goes, yo, send me some pictures. Like, all right, you're done. It's been real,
when you said that.
It's been real. It's been great. It's been a great 2 weeks. Like, it's over.
They always think they're sly too. They'll be like, what are you wearing? Send me a pic. I'm like, okay. I'm in my PJs from Target. Settle down,
one of my favorites also was like, when are you gonna cook for me? If you don't get out of my face.
I DoorDash around here. You better get familiar. I DoorDash, so I'll send you something, but I'm not making you.
Wait. So we're not cooks.
I just got the
both of y'all
listening to this.
Do both of y'all cook? Both of y'all don't cook?
I cook.
Okay.
Oh, I cook. I cook for me.
There we go. All right. Okay,
you can't have that mindset.
Get up off your.
But
you know what?
To know that you're capable,
that's
a green flag.
That's a green flag.
That's a green flag. At least to know that
Corey said, your hands work. Go make yourself a sandwich.
Corey,
real talk.
Can you understand how the ladies feel when they both talked about dudes being uncomfortable with independent women?
Yeah. Because I don't think many guys don't even know like strong independent women like that, right? They might think they know, but then when they come across one, like you said, it's like they just shrivel up because now they're just dealing with like a power, a power dynamic, right? They can't really figure out. So that's out there. But
where are you at with that? Can you be with a independent woman?
Yeah, no, for sure.
You can.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking for?
I'm a secure man, and I am, I have a career for myself,
secure.
right? Like
Corey wants to be a sugar baby. I can see it.
No. I can't do younger. Oh, you said a sugar baby. Oh,
no, a sugar baby is like your girl makes more money than you.
Oh no, I don't want that. Why would I want that? I mean,
I want that. Yeah, I want a lady to make more money than me. Yes. Why wouldn't you want that?
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I guess that's not what I'm striving for. But if that's what ends up happening, that's
But let me ask you this: if you're dating a girl and she makes more money than you, are you? Is that a turn off for you? Like, are you intimidated by that, or you're like, it's cool?
No, that's motivation.
I like that.
Like I'm gonna give you credit for for what you got going on. And why can I be mad if I'm not in that same situation? I just got to work to be in that similar situation. And then if I really like you, I'd like that maybe that you got some competitiveness in you, and then we could just compete in that sense. But we're gonna keep it respectful, and we're gonna keep the love in it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
All I'm gonna say is, fellas,
a team. It's a team thing. So like I don't even like the whole like, oh, I do this all day, you pay those bills. Like once we're in a relationship, we do this together. Like I'm not even going to say 50-50 because sometimes I may only be able to give you 20 today because I'm just not feeling it. So can you pick up the 80 that I can't cover? Like we're on a team. We work together. I don't like this whole like you do this, I do that. That's how it works. It's like, okay, well, today I'm not feeling like doing that. So how about you do it? And I got it tomorrow. Like, it's just the team mentality. I'm big on that. Like, we share this life. So we're going to do it together.
Listen, ASAP got himself a whole billionaire.
Right.
He cool.
She's about to push too. I'm going to do this right quick. We're going to spend a couple more minutes, but in post, like, we got to do audio and video. So don't end the show from a stream standpoint, but we're going to end it from a video standpoint. I mean, from a audio standpoint. End it from an audio standpoint, not a video. Okay. So thank you guys so much for coming to Faction Talk, Sirius XM, Channel 103. If you want to hear the rest of this conversation, dynamic conversation about love, there's love bombers, there's lover boys. You know, the ladies are saying that dudes, they can't embrace an independent woman. My kids are running in right now. We're live right now. But that's the end of the audio. And now we're going to continue on video. All right. So, look, Ashley's like, what the hell are you doing? Ash, just roll up.
No, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm feeling
that was it. Really I ended the show. Question. That was it for audio. You good now?
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. I just wanted to say this, man. I think all the fellas need to make sure that they understand how much power there is in having a strong woman. We talk about mental health all the time. We talk about breaks all the time. I am a human being. I need someone who I could depend on the same way Liv said. So having not necessarily a weak woman, I just think that you need someone in this day and age that is strong enough to stand on their own and strong enough to also help you stand up.
Yeah,
that's powerful.
That's dope. Well, you know what? You should be friends with Zion.
He need a friend right now.
Ashley, you are unhinged.
I'm just saying. I'm not.
Hold on.
Him and Zion should have a conversation.
Ashley, walk us through it. Walk us through it. I just heard like little sound bites. Like what's the situation?
I don't know all the details. I don't want to know all the details.
Oh, I know them.
Go ahead, Liv, because I don't know. I just know Zion's having a baby, and there's a lot of people upset about it. Like,
so yeah. So apparently he was messing around with a porn star, which okay, do your thing, like whatever, do your thing.
Their own.
But then he comes out and he has a gender reveal, right?
Yeah.
So he has a gender reveal for
everything's normal so far.
His partner, and then here comes the woman he was messing with in the adult movie
industry
lifestyle. And she comes out with a tweet that says, I let you, I don't even like, it's like so crude. She said, I let you spit in my mouth. You did this to me last week. You did this to me last week. And now this woman's, you got a gender reveal going. Like she went into detail about their intimacy, their freaky intimacy after the baby gender reveal dropped, because then she realized, like she said, you were supposed to move me to New Orleans. Like, how is that going to work? You having us both in the same city? Like, she just went. She did not.
They were going to be sister wives. That's how it was going to work.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. They're going to be what?
Crazy.
Sister wives.
But she included the detail of, like, the spit thing, and people were like, oh, he's a freak.
All right, Zion.
Like,
yeah, right.
He's a freak.
Can y'all imagine, though, like, if.
No.
No, we can't.
I'm just saying, like, think about this. All the shit that we have in a closet, right? Like, just think about it. You know what I mean? If that stuff got out publicly, bro, there'd be some crazy, crazy stories out there.
When you know,
Zion got a walking
crazy, Brandon.
Say that again,
that's
Liv.
what's crazy to me. Like, I move a very specific way, and I'm not even relevant enough for people to be wanting to know my business. When you are relevant enough for your business to be wanted to hear, like, I mean, like, you get this girl an NDA.
You would be surprised, like, about thinking you're not relevant enough. I have full-blown Reddit threads analyzing my Instagram followers, who's liking my photos, and somehow
actually you're 6 tiers above me.
Girl, I am not. Listen,
you are.
About there have been people. There have been people who like my photos, and all of a sudden we're dating. Like there's full blown Reddit threads.
Who are they saying you're dating now, Ashley? What's the story now?
Brandon, if I collected every guy that they say that I'm dating, I would have multiple NBA championships.
Hall of Famers, potential Hall of Famers.
There's potential Hall of Famers. I would have three-peated by now. Like, that's how solid that roster allegedly is. Like, it's very impressive, honestly. If it were true, like Kendall Jenner, she wishes she were me. If it were true,
how do y'all feel about Kim Kardashian wearing that shirt? Y'all saw that?
I loved it.
What you just brought up was Kendall, right? Kendall, she has a starting 5. She dated Ben Simmons. Who else?
Booker. Clarkson.
There was a couple others, whatever. She had a starting 5. But then Kim got on Instagram, her 300 million followers, and was posting a regular picture, but she had the shirt on with Kendall's starting 5. How y'all feel about that? Cool or not cool? Cool or not cool?
The only thing that annoys me about that is Kendall there's only been like 2 of those guys on that list who she's really like said those were my boyfriends, right? So now it kind of takes away the fact now you can't deny the rest of them because your sister put your business out there. Like she was kind of saying I remember her saying she didn't date Jordan Clarkson. I remember saying she didn't date who's the other one on the shirt, Kyle Kuzma or whoever's on it. Like she said she didn't date those guys. Now it's like, well, you did, sis, because your sister just said you did. So like that's the only thing. Like now I can't deny it anymore because you just put me on blast.
Right.
But the shirt was funny. It was funny.
I thought it was dope. I mean,
it is funny.
All right. Well, we gotta. This is I feel like the show just started, but we gotta go. Like,
I know. Yeah, we're out of show.
Damn,
we're out of show.
It was so good.
It was.
Golly. All right, Ashley, you want to do the thing that you do? How you end the show?
You can do the thing, Brandon. You can end
Come on.
it.
Why is she?
How do you want to end it? Oh wait, aren't you gonna go? You should end it and tell the folks how many home runs you're gonna have. You're gonna be in Philly, doing a Devontae Smith's softball
That's
classic. Right. Well, how many home runs are you going? That's how we should end the show.
Ashley, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's not top of mind right now. What's top of mind is like just coming home safe, because you know who's going to be out there. Ashley, who's on the other team.
I do know who's going to be out there, and I hope that we're all on our best behavior because it's a charity softball event.
Hopefully he understands that. Liv, trivia. Who's on the opposing softball team, Devontae Smith's, okay? Is it first annual or second annual softball tournament? Second annual softball tournament. Who is on the opposing team that where it can get spicy between me and him?
I'll give you a hint, Liv. That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback.
You taking it so easy on Liv. She loves you, Liv.
What do you mean? That's a good hint.
We can't give her the hints. Can't give her the hints.
Hold on, I'm like actually lost right now. On the opposing team?
Okay.
Yeah, who's the wide receiver who once said that's my quarterback and he was crying about him on the Dallas Cowboys? Tony Romo was his quarterback.
Liv.
And there's the famous meme of him crying saying that's my quarterback.
I've probably seen the meme. Okay, hold on.
You know it.
Oh, Liv.
Hold on, guys. Stop.
I'm trying to give her a hint.
Oh, it's your race, T.O.
Oh, that's
Duh.
Liv.
Yeah. Don't be doing nothing crazy out there.
I'm not. I got security. His name is Bear. He set me up with a off-duty officer that's going to accompany me. And it ain't for T.O. It's protect me from being me. Y'all looking at me like I'm crazy. No, for real. No,
Jesus.
No, Ashley, you're being serious, and this is a lesson, right? Because we can come out there and banter and have jokes. We did that. But, like, he said some things. It's like, oh, you kind of went too far. T.O., you're gone too far. So I just think, like, boom, we go out there. We have a great time. But I ain't trying to have him come up to me and say, well, what did you say, this and that? I can't do that, man.
This will be an exceptional opportunity for peace.
I love how you said that.
Exceptional.
I don't see it.
It is peace. Peace. We want peace. All right, listen. Another great day, which means we had another great opportunity to put together an amazing show, which we did. That's Paper Route presented by I Am Athlete. We have Liz that came in and contributed. That was awesome. I said Liv.
It sounded like Liz.
You said Liz.
Yeah, it did sound
No, I
like
said
Liz.
Liv.
Did he say Liz?
No.
It sounded like it, but maybe you did say Liv. I don't know.
Maybe it's the Pittsburgh accent, I guess.
Maybe, but it's Liv, the great. And then we have Ashey Nicole Moss is back. We wasn't expecting Ashley to come back this week. Listen, impressive. You know, I always this is sports. We talk a lot about sports. What Ashley did was this. Ashley, she had her leg up for the last 4 days. Hurt. Done.
Yeah, right.
We're thinking about, is she going to be on IR? Right now, she was just on the, what is it called? The injury report.
The PUP list,
PUP?
right? PUP.
Yeah, we put you on PUP yesterday. We thought, I was like, boom, she's going to come back Monday. Ashley like, I'm ready to get back to work.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what greatness is.
No,
you got to know when to ask for help. You got to know when to slow down. But you also got to know when to push through a little bit. And Ashley, I'm ready to get back to work. I wasn't expecting Ashley till next week.
Yeah, no.
I'm Kobe at the line with
earlier.
the torn Achilles.
Right. Everybody missed Ashley. Everybody in the chat, they love you. I feel like you were the fan favorite. Now it's Woo. I feel like Woo is emerging as the fan favorite for
Really?
Yeah, they love Woo.
I'm trying my best, man. Just trying to be me.
Woo. I think Woo is the fan favorite. Court.
I'm gonna make sure when I get back to the studio on Monday, Woo, I run over your foot with my scooter.
Hey, we gonna be racing down the hallway with these scooters now.
3 of them here now.
Liv.
We should put that on the show. We should do a live stream of me and Corey racing
on the scooters.
on our scooters, and let's see who wins.
Oh man,
we got you.
And we have the young super producer Corey. Corey, man, I just want to say I do give you your flowers, publicly in front of our whole team and everybody. Bro, you did a fucking phenomenal job today, bro.
Good looks.
Like you get like me. We've been having some conversations, challenging each other, hold each other accountable.
Of course.
And like, bro, you was phenomenal today. I was like, let my guy lead the way. Do his thing.
That's all right. I appreciate that. Good looks.
Dang. Liv, we had this debate. I was like, bro, you need to start watching Oprah Winfrey. You need to start watching Arsenio Hall. You need to start watching. And he was like, I watched Scott Van Pelt. I watched Stephen A.
Hey, Brandon, I just want to let you know we got KJ actually waiting on us right now.
Oh, KJ's here.
Yeah,
okay.
he's waiting on us.
All right, well,
receiver.
we got. Is it live or that we? Oh, we're going live.
We're going live.
Oh, you sure?
Yep. By
Mandeville
right Mysterio. Approved.
All right. So, Liv, we love you. We thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Ashley, I'm glad you're back. The show needed
Bye,
you.
Boo. I'll talk to you later.
Dang, Liv. The show needed you. We couldn't hold it down for 3 days without her. We couldn't survive 3 days. No, we did.
I mean,
we did need her.
The people miss Ashley. You know how
All right.
Yeah, thanks again, though, Liv. Take it easy.
Bye.
All right, so what's happening right now? We got KJ Osborne.
We got
Talking about
KJ
the wide
ready to
receiver.
go.
We're going live.
Jay Osborne in the building.
Oh, wow. Is he
Get
here?
him. BC's gonna bring him in right now.
Wow. You going to enter? Whoa.
Look at that.
There he is.
I thought you're supposed to be catching the football right now, KJ. What's going on? Like OTAs?
Yeah, we just got to practice. What's up?
What's up, bro? So one, thank you for blessing us and coming on live. I thought we were going to have 10 minutes to transition, pre-record something, but we're going live with KJ Osborne.
We going right at it.
Wow, this
Starting
is
fast,
awesome.
finishing strong.
How do you feel? You guys are in OTAs. There's a lot happened this offseason. Some transactions, added a few pieces. How are you feeling, one? And give us an update, overall update on the whole team.
All right, man. I'm feeling good. Going into year 4 now. Like I said, we're going into a second year of a new head coach, so second year of this offense. The team is feeling good. Like you said, we got a new change over last year, so it's been a lot of change, a lot of vets. Obviously we had some news today. We picked up some guys in the draft. New D coordinator, things like that. But practice has been smooth. It's been real good. Defense flying around, excited. Getting to learn that new system. Offense, a second year under KO's system. In his offense and, getting comfortable and things like that. So it's been good things going. We'll finish up next week, mini camp, 2 days, and we'll be out of here.
Love it. So this is Brandon Marshall, Ashey Nicole Moss, Corey in the cut. This is Paper Route, Faction Talk, Channel 103. This is such a treat to have you here because you're one of the guys that were the first to train at House of Athlete. Mm-hmm. And I have to say this, Ashley and Corey, before you guys jump in here. Bro, I'm super proud of you, right? And I you know what? I don't want to say doubted you, but I didn't know. I didn't know, right? Because your first 2 years, just a guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? You saw spurts of greatness. You saw some big plays. But then last year, bro, like, you literally turned into the guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say, I'm proud of you. Salute. It was awesome to see you just go on a crazy run. What do you attribute that to?
Man, hard work, man. It's not no secret. Hard work. That's how I've been my whole life. I came to the league from Miami, but at the end of the day, like I tweeted, not too long ago, I'm a two-star recruit from the MAC, man. We grind for everything that we get. And, like you said, my first year, I didn't play a snap of offense, not one snap, not even a run play. I was just special teams. And, I knew that, I could play in this league. And every offseason, I just try to come back better and better and better. And, and take advantage of my opportunities. I played with some great players, obviously, in JJ. I got we added TJ Hogg, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. It's only one ball to go around, and so, I just take advantage of my opportunities and and work hard. From my time coming, I gotta go.
Yeah, well, talk about that, KJ, right? Because you're a guy. You look at the stat sheets. You 7 touchdowns 2 years ago, 6 last year, right? If I'm not mistaken, 1,300 yards over those 2 years. But if you're somebody, if you watch the Minnesota Vikings, they know that you show up in moments, right? You're a guy who shows up, when it's third and short, and y'all in the red zone, we need a touchdown because you playing with a guy like Justin Jefferson, and in past you've played with Adam Thielen. Just talk about the confidence that you have going into each game, knowing that if it's not them, I'm gonna step up and make that play.
Right, man, it's huge, and playing with a guy like JJ, obviously he's gonna get a lot of attention. He's a special player, and a lot of times, playing the F position, which is probably one of the hardest positions, in our offense, obviously besides quarterback. I'm paired with him a lot, so if he getting that double coverage, I'm getting single coverage, or I'm opening the things up for him. I do a lot of things in the run game that, like you said, is not really on the stat sheet. I'm kind of getting moved around like a chess piece, doing a lot of different things. But like I said, I understand that, obviously it's the NFL, and when my opportunity come, I got to be ready. And just, with the position I play, and B. Marsh can attest to this, but maybe not. He was probably a 1, but I'm as a 3 or whatever playing with JJ. I may not touch the ball until those moments. So it's similar to playing basketball. I don't know if you guys are basketball players, but if you're not touching the ball, you haven't shot the ball since the first quarter. I need to get in it. And a lot of those times, in those games, I'm catching the ball on fourth down or third down or in overtime or whatever. So I never know when the ball's gonna come, but I just try to stay ready, for my chance, and when it comes, because it's usually, in a pivotal moment. A pivotal moment in the game.
Yep.
I want to ask you about something that you said. You spoke about, getting things out of the mud and having to grind and work for everything that you have. And I think when you're not a high recruit coming into college, and then, not a high draft pick coming in from college and, into the draft, into the league, that sometimes that chip can consume you instead of motivate you. I think there's a fine line between using that chip as motivation and being consumed by just that negativity and those thoughts. So for you, how did you find that balance of using it as motivation, but also not allowing it to darken your spirit and your mental?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. For me, it was, off the field, you feel it in the motivation, when I'm talking about, getting up in the morning, you don't feel like going, you need that extra juice or whatever. And, when you're doing your off-season training or sprints or lifting weights. But for myself, when it's time to go out there on the field, none of that matters. I got to go out there and play ball. And at the end of the day, I got to do this for myself. I tell people all the time, I'm the hardest critic on myself. And my expectation for myself is higher than any coach or player or fan or family. So, I do it for myself to prove to myself that I can do it. And, it's too much stuff going on out there to be, worried about what's getting said about you and off the field and stuff. You got to go play and you got to go perform. And, to play at this level and to have success at, you got to be locked in, each and every snap and, every day at practice and, all the different dynamics that are going on. So, when that stuff gets when we're on the field, I'm not thinking about that type of stuff. And, you got to go play. You got to try to bring the same energy every day.
So,
and go ahead, Brandon.
No, go ahead, Ashley.
Well, I want to ask, because when you talk about not getting caught up in, people's perceptions of you and things like that, you have a guy on your team that there's always a lot of chatter about, a lot of perceptions of who he is, what kind of player he is, what kind of leader he is. That's Kirk Cousins. So I want to ask you, what is probably one of the biggest misconceptions about Kirk? I like that, or you like that, Cousins?
Oh man, I mean, I don't like. I mean, we talk about it all the time, in our building. I'm not really sure like what it is, but I mean, he's extremely accurate. He's a genius. He's extremely smart. His preparation is one of the best, the best that I've been around. I try to pride myself again, like on hard work and, working hard and, staying late. Kirk's here before me. He's staying after. He's doing, all the extra things, and his preparation, motivates me to be prepared just as him. So I'm on the same page as him. Like he makes very good decisions. He listens to our coaches. He's tried to, begin to be aggressive, and, all the things that, people, try to say about him. And, he doesn't pay attention to that stuff. He stays locked in. And, I love playing with him.
So let's stay right there. We're talking about people, right? So Kirk Cousins, bro, I'm real. You've been around me a couple times. Got to ask you the question. I know you know we brothers. Got to ask you the question. Can Kirk Cousins get you guys there, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've been around some guys. Like, can he get you guys there?
Yeah, I think so. 100%. 100%. Even these. Let me not say that. But yes, Kirk can get us there 100%, man. His like I said, I mean, his preparation and what he does. I mean, if you look at his numbers, he performs. A lot of people try to knock him for like the win column. But it's a team game. You know what I'm saying? And the things that Kirk does, he's brought us back in comebacks. He's leading us in games. We're scoring a lot of points. We've been having one of the top offenses in the league. Since I've been in the league. Around Kirk. We've had some of the top offenses. Every single year. And he's been performing. If I think JJ mentioned it. If we hadn't start off with a couple losses, I think a year or two ago, he would have been in the MVP conversation with all the other guys that they try to talk about. But because it's Kirk, or whatever name they try to give him, or slander, I don't know why. I think it's kind of pretty undeserving. But if you ask me or anybody in this organization, I think 100% that he can get us there.
Right.
Yeah, I got some. Yo, so you mentioned comebacks, right, KJ? I want to know, do you have like a Kirk Cousins story from when y'all made that comeback against the Colts? Biggest comeback in NFL
the Minnesota
history?
Miracle?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I mean, it was ridiculous, right? Like, do you have a story? I mean, because you went off in that game too. 10 catches, 157 yards.
Crazy.
So it's probably one of the, safe to say, one of the better games of your career, right? Like, do you have a memory from that game? And what was Kirk Cousins telling you guys in that situation?
Right. Well, the first half, I mean, we were losing so bad that it was just like, it was almost like
Real
silence. But it was just like at the same time, we were beating ourselves. Like we were doing stuff like miscommunications. We were throwing. If he threw, I knew we threw like a pick six, but it was something like a miscommunication. And I think we had 2 defensive touchdowns called back. And then I think we tried to run a fake punt. And it just stuff was not going our way. Right. It was spiraling downhill. And then at one point, JJ had got hurt, and I joke about it. It was like JJ got hurt. He goes off the field. And I could feel the whole state of Minnesota just crying. Like our savior JJ just went off the field, and it's like, who's gonna be the guy? So I went to the X position. So I'm like, I gotta step up and I gotta make some plays. JJ's not on the field. Somebody gotta be the guy. And we went to the locker room, and the famous storyline is Pat Pete. He said all we gotta score is 5 touchdowns. So all we gotta do is score 5 touchdowns, and we'll be fine. And I actually didn't hear him say that. But we just went in the locker room, came back out of in the second half, and we were just chopping wood. And Kirk really wasn't saying much because, like I said, we were just down by so many points that we're just like, let's just try to get something together. And, it sounds cliche, but one play at a time, one drive at a time. And after that, we started to gain some momentum, and things started to go in our favor. And then the rest is history.
Wow. KJ, you know what else happened in that game or after that game? You guys put the nail in the coffin for Jeff Saturday. Excuse me. Yeah. Jeff Saturday, controversy, going from ESPN the booth to now being the head coach. And y'all did that to him. He had no chance after that, Ashley. No chance at all. How you give up so many points?
33-point lead.
How do you do that? It was over. I felt bad for Jeff. Y'all did that to him. You also brought up Justin Jefferson. What makes him special, bro?
I think number one is the way he can move. JJ is, playing receiver. JJ is very wiggly, in his routes and the ways he's able to create separation. And he has a big stride length. So when he's running off the ball, it looks like he's coming at you 100 miles per hour. And then, he has the ability to, separate it, break and put his foot in the ground fast and separate. And again, when you have that much separation, you catching the ball and, you can, get yards after catch and make those big plays. I mean, at that point, the game is, coming easy to him. It's slowing down for him. He's getting a bunch of targets. So, he's locked in. He's in his zone. And, he was playing amazing. So, it's somebody that, I love playing with. We hang out a lot in the off season, train together. Our relationship has gotten a lot closer. I'm excited to be playing with a guy like that.
I want to ask because, I mean, listen, the offense is going to look a little bit different. The news did come out today that reportedly Dalvin Cook will be released. Not getting into the nitty gritty of that because it's the business of the NFL. But I think I would just love to hear, one, what does he mean to this team, or what has he meant to this team? And now that there is a possibility of a future without him, how much of a hole is that going to leave not only in this offense but in this locker room?
Right. I think you hit it on the head with that last point. Like in the locker room, if you ask me, like Dalvin, like his like almost number one trait is his leadership. Like when Dalvin speaks, people listen, and I think he's a natural leader. He's one that's bringing it up, calling us up in the huddle. If there's if things are right, Dalvin speaking up, and he has the locker room respect, he had the coach's respect. The way he practices, the way he carries himself, and he's an amazing football player. So definitely we will miss him, in the locker room for sure. And then, on the field, speaks for itself. I think he went to like, 4 straight Pro Bowls, a tremendous player. So, definitely some big shoes to fill, with Maddie and, all the other backs in the room. But I think they're up for the job, and they'll do a great job. And I'm excited to see where Dalvin goes. And I'm sure he'll have a great career wherever he goes next.
Have you had an opportunity to catch up with them since the news broke? And, how, if so, how is he feeling? How's he doing? What is he thinking?
Yeah, no, I haven't. I know it got released this morning. I knew some stuff, a little while ago, but I hadn't got a chance to talk to him. I know JJ has spoke to him, but I'm sure I'll see him soon here, and I'll talk it up with him. But knowing Dalvin, he's gonna be focused, and I'm sure he's gonna be excited to where he goes next, and he'll bring that same mentality and energy, anywhere he goes. So I'm excited to see success.
I hear Jets. Jets.
Yeah.
Oh, you hear Jets with everybody.
I want them. We want them. Y'all, and listen. Hey, listen. What they say? What's that saying, Ashley? Some men's trash is another man's treasure. Did I say that right?
One man's trash.
You did.
One man's
trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Dalvin Cook. Oh, we don't need him. We don't want him. It's over. Okay. Watch that boy go crazy this year with the Jets. Well, he ain't gonna have as many yards because you got Breece Hall there. So like he'll be splitting reps, but he gonna have some big plays. Bro, this weekend, what do you have going on? What like? You're always doing something in the community. You're always finding ways to give back. Is it this weekend? Well, explain to us what's going on, what's happening.
Right. So this weekend I'll have my second annual youth camp. Me and Tyler Mabry, my childhood best friend, tight end for the Seattle Seahawks. We'll be doing our second annual youth camp back in our hometown, Ypsilanti, Michigan. So on Friday night, tomorrow, we will do a high school camp, like a receiver, tight end, more intimate. We getting after it. Those guys, getting out there trying to get better. And then we'll do that Friday night under the lights, and then Saturday we will do a youth camp, with the kids, getting a chance to get out there, teaching them the game, and getting a chance to have fun, compete a little bit, and like you said, giving back to our community. Growing up, a lot of professional athletes, there's just not a lot of professional athletes that come from our city. And, to get a chance to, meet and shake hands and talk to the kids and, teach them the game. This is the second year of that. We're really excited for it.
Bro,
I love that.
My first camp, it was camp, I called it Camp 15, War number 15. This one kid, special kid, the shortest kid, smallest kid on the field, but probably the most talented. His name is Mikey. Bro, we connected after, exchanged numbers. He was probably 9 years old at the time. 10. He was 10. Mm-hmm. Bro, don't you know still to this day we still talk? Really? Right?
That's cool.
I'm proud of you for being able to go back and connect, because it does matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, for them to come back and see you, make it and then care and give back, bro, you probably already have these stories, but they're going to continue to happen the more you do this, where, these kids may call you like, yo, I'm now looking at Texas, the Gators. What do I do, big bro? You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's a cool journey that you're on right now. Have you had any of those stories yet from families or any athletes, young athletes, where they're like, they met you, at your last camp, but then it came back around and y'all connected again?
Not yet, because last year we only did youth camp, so it was like, middle school kids. So they were going to high school. Now this year, our first year doing the high school camp, which like I said, it's more intimate. It's a smaller number of kids, and like I said, we want to get after it. We're not just go. I mean, we are going to have fun, of course, but I want to teach them the game. I'm gonna be working out with them. They get a chance to work alongside me, and it's we coming to work. I want you guys to get better so that we can have those conversations, and the college coaches coming to their door and things like that. But I do have a cousin, a little cousin, that he is starting to play football this year. He's going to his senior year. He's actually a long-time running back, Charlie Gardner. I'm not sure if you know that name, B.
Yeah, I know Charlie Gardner. Didn't Charlie?
He's my little cousin is playing receiver now, so he's texting me drills. And he's how's this drill? How's this drill look? How my footwork here? How my footwork here? So he'll be at the camp tomorrow night. So we'll be able to get after it. So he obviously he's freakishly athletic because of his dad. So I'll be excited to that. So maybe I can follow up on that story for you.
That's dope. Hey, if you master being able to work out during your camp, please let me know. I tried to do it for years because I always thought yo, this camp I'm gonna have a bunch of kids out here, but it's another opportunity for me to get some work in. So I thought I was going to do the same drills that we were going to put them through. Right. But I got out there and it was like this person pulled on me, this person wanted a picture or hitting different, the different drills so I can touch all kids. I could never master it, bro. So, if you master it, let me know. All right.
Okay.
Let me know. Any big names coming? Any teammates supporting?
We just wanted to keep it, intimate. Like I said, it's Ypsilanti, Michigan, a small town. So it's me and Tyler, me and Tyler Mabry. So it'll just be us. And we have what our goal was, the kids that we grew up with and we played high school football with that are now coaches and, trying to, go off in their coaching careers. We want to give them a chance to come back. And so they can practice coaching, practice coaching the middle school kids, practice coaching the high school kids. Because now these guys are, GAs at places and, head coaches at other, small schools or things like that, alongside our high school coaches that coach us there as well. So getting a chance for, some development.
That's what's up. Now, KJ, to move the conversation forward, when we have current athletes here on our platform, a lot of times we like to ask them, what are you thinking about life after sports, right? Off the field, what are you doing? In doing my research on you, I saw that you were pursuing at Miami a degree in criminal justice, right? So I just wanted to ask you, what does life after football for you look like, and why criminal justice? I saw maybe a FBI agent or even a Secret Service agent.
I love that.
Yeah.
So that was my thing. I always wanted to be like a Secret Service agent or FBI. So I'll be finishing my master's next off season. I just I think I got one test left to do or internship, cool. Whatever I decide to do. And I'll be done with that. And, that could be life after football and, or it could not be, because actually right now I'm kind of leaning towards, entrepreneurship. I like this business world and, private equity and, real estate and things like that. That's a space that, I'm really growing in, building a lot of connections in. So I think my windows and, my options are open right now, but, definitely those two are up in there. I'll kind of see what's going on.
That's dope.
That's actually so crazy to hear that you're majoring in that, because if I didn't major in journalism, that's what I was going to school for.
Really? Yeah,
criminal justice. Yeah, because I'm a huge SVU Law and Order watcher. So I actually wanted to. It was between criminal justice or criminal psychology. I wanted to study the minds of serial killers and things like that, and try to hello Clarice. You ever see Silence of the Lambs? That was the whole thing that I wanted to do. And then sports journalism kind of took lead, but that's so cool. I was gonna major in the exact same thing or something very similar.
Well, I was a first 48 guy.
Yeah, first 48 is good too, which is crazy when you think about it. A crime, it's a crazy statistic. If a crime's not solved within the first 48 hours, there's a good chance it goes just cold, which is insane. You really think
every episode's in Tulsa. Every episode's in
It was a period they were only in Miami though.
Miami, it's Alabama,
Dallas,
Memphis, several cities.
Well, staying on this, Ashley, mentioned, the shows that she watched that kind of inspired her to potentially pursue that. What shows are you watching now? What's cool to you?
B, I don't watch a lot of TV. I actually don't watch TV. busy doing other things. I kind of don't know where my time goes. I'll be, watching film, working on my body. I'll be doing. I have Bible study. Mom call, sister call, and then by the time it's about 10:30. It's time to go to sleep. I usually just watch games. So I'm watching the NBA finals. I've been watching the playoffs a lot. So it's really, if it's not a sports game, I really don't watch a lot of TV at all, actually.
Okay.
Wow.
You-
Wait,
I
so
don't
what
do
do you
that.
do? What do you do during the dog days of sports where there's nothing on TV but golf and really early baseball?
Like right now.
Right. So right now, I would say the last 2 weeks I've gotten in some Call of Duty, which
Oh, there it is.
I'm usually
He's
not
a
a
gamer.
big video game guy though. I'm usually not a big video game. I did play in college, but then like I said, just I don't know where my time goes. It's just I'll just be moving and calls and doing whatever. I don't even know where time
I
goes.
hear that.
It'll be time to go to sleep. But the last 2 weeks I've gotten pretty good at Call of Duty, so I've been playing out with my teammates kind of in my free time.
So listen, because you're a busy man, okay, and you don't know where your time goes, we want to be respectful of your time. I think we may ask another 2 questions or so, then we let you go. Take care of your body. Take care, those phone calls, mom calling, sister calling. But that's a big part too. I don't want to. Let me not speak about it like it's not a big deal. But bro, taking care of your body, it's a full-time gig, and I think a lot of guys don't invest the time and resources needed to stay in peak shape and continue to perform at a high level. So salute to you for putting that first.
Appreciate that.
So my last question for you, what's going on with this team, right? What's the expectation for next year? There's a lot has happened. A lot of teams made some moves. You still got, the Philadelphia Eagles sitting out there. Aaron Rodgers is now out of the division and makes y'all path a little bit more clearer and I would say smoother, right? Because that's always been the challenge. He's ran that division for a very long time. Hell, I played for the Chicago Bears and had to go through them. So going into this year, what are you guys thinking about? What's the goal?
Well, I think the goal every year should be Super Bowl. And we're in professional sports. It's 32 teams. I think if your goal is not to win Super Bowl, I don't know why you're in it. Like you said, we invest way too much, every single year with our body, family, time, to not, have that goal. But, you got to earn that. And, like you said, we got some new guys coming in. We got a new defense. We got things like that, like I said. So we're going out here, day by day in OTAs and mini camp, trying to earn that. You get that from the practice reps. You get that confidence from practice and from the work that you put in. So, we got to finish this mini camp off. When it's time to hit training camp, obviously, we got to hit it. We got 2 teams coming in here for joint practices. And like I said, we got to put in that work to earn that confidence. So when the Bucks come in here, whatever they do, we can hit the ground rolling. But I think every goal, every team goal should be, Super Bowl. But, first it starts, day by day.
Love that. Love that.
This division looks a little bit different this year, this season, now that Aaron Rodgers is in New York, or rather New Jersey, as I like to make sure I make that clarification as a real New Yorker. Is it now the Vikings division to kind of run and just lose each and every season this year, or following seasons after that?
Yeah, well, as a competitor, I'm gonna tell you, shoot, we're gonna say it's our division every year. It was our division last year, and that was one thing when KO came in. We heard a lot of that talk. The Packers run this league, and the Packers and A-Rod, obviously a Hall of Fame, amazing quarterback. But we wanted to change that narrative. The Vikings run the division, and like I said, we want to repeat and win the division again. Have a run at go get a chip. Like I said, that's our goal. But the teams, they did do a lot of stuff in the offseason. They got rid of A-Rod, but Chicago did a lot of things in their offseason. Detroit loaded up on some guys. So it should be fun. I'm really excited to go against these teams. We don't got to play them, all in the cold. I think the NFL was doing us dirty. I think we were playing Green Bay the last 2 weeks, week 16, 17, when it's 2 degrees, -2. We got some primetime games against the division team. So I think it'll be very competitive, and I'm excited for it. They're good teams.
I'm gonna push you a little bit on this one. Obviously, Vikings number 1, but if you had to go ahead and list the other teams in this division and where they would fall when it's all said and done at the end of the season, give me that list.
Little power ranking.
Little power ranking, just a little power ranking.
Well,
obviously, you're putting the Vikings first, so
Right.
that's fair. I'll give you that.
I don't know what they got going on over there. So I can only speak what we got going on in here. So I just know, as long as we good, as long as we number one, we good. And we not just worried about the division. Like I said, we got big plans. We trying to go get a chip, and we trying to we trying to win it all. So obviously, whoever gets in our way, I don't care what division it is.
Come on, KJ. Come on, give us a power ranking. Come on.
Give me the divisional
I
power ranking.
I don't know what they got going on.
I'll tell Ashley.
I would say this: the teams in our division, it'd be kind of like up and down. Like sometimes like Detroit, like sometimes they don't start that well, and then they'll finish out hot.
No, that was 1 year, KJ. No, that was 1 year. That was last year. Every other year, come on, talking about.
But they built it. They picked up some pieces in the draft. Chicago done picked up a bunch of guys on the offense. So like I don't know what's going on in there.
This is what I'll say. This is what I'm gonna say, bro. Mm-hmm. All right, and maybe you can rearrange it for me, okay? Mm-hmm. So when I was playing in the division, you had A-Rod running at, you know what I'm saying? Then you had the Bears, and then the Vikings kind of going back and forth every other year there. All right, and then it was like Detroit. But Detroit had a couple years with Stafford and Calvin. Now, going to this year, man, I think the Chicago Bears is going to actually surprise a lot of people, right? Really? So I still have you. I like you guys because of the, the consistency there. You're going into year 2 with your coach, this offense. Obviously, you got Kurt there and also Justin, yourself, and y'all added some more pieces. The defense, the defense, y'all can't be giving up 30 points a game, but but you guys are in good position. I think Chicago is 2 for me. And this is like me going out on a limb, right? Mm-hmm. Because Detroit, on paper, and then going off of how they finished last year, is the better team. But I don't know. They had like 6-7 guys get suspended for gambling. I don't know what the hell's going on in Detroit, what they doing in the casinos there, but something's going on in Detroit. Stop gambling in Detroit, okay? So now they had to take a step back. And then you got, the Green Bay Packers there, and I don't think anybody's scared there. So Ashley's power ranking, she's really big on these power rankings. Do you agree with that, or would you make any adjustment? See how I'm trying to hit another angle, Ashley, how I'm trying to get you.
I respect it because he very well media trained the way he dodged my power ranking. I thought I softballed that, but I respect the sidestep.
Right.
It's a toss up. I will agree with you. I'll give you this. I will agree with you with the like Detroit, Chicago. It's kind of like we kind of got to see how it play out. Like you said, I think they both added some key pieces, and I think it'll be interesting to see like you said how the suspensions kind of affect them. Do they start out hot, or what how that affects their team? But I would say somewhere 2 and 3 kind of. It's a toss up.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate
That's something.
You,
I'll take that. I'll take that.
No, man, it's awesome, man. Good luck on your 2nd annual camp. It's going to be a phenomenal weekend. Like I said, to start the show, proud of you, bro. Just to see you go out there in big moments when your team needs you, to be ready. Like you said, when you're not the guy and you don't touch it until the 3rd quarter, like you got to be mentally locked in. You got to have that mindset. And it's been a pleasure watching you over the last couple of years just approach your offseason the way you do, the way you work. You and Justin, a lot of people don't know that you guys are like brothers. You know what I'm saying? And how y'all hold each other accountable and how y'all work together has been pretty cool to see, man. So looking forward to having you back on. So I can we get a commitment today? Because Ashley, I'm telling you, he's going to have another breakout year and he's going to get real big. So after one of your breakout games, Corey, you said he had 10 catches, 157 yards.
157, and
so in week 2 when you do that, we gonna say week 1. So week 1 when you do it, can you come on Paper Route?
You got me.
All right. Got it right there.
KJ, appreciate you, boss, man.
Thanks, bro.
Of course, man. Appreciate it, man. Good seeing y'all.
Yeah.
All righty.
See, that's the trick right there, Ashley and Corey. You got to get the commitments while they're on for the second commitment. But you put them out there publicly, Ashley. You rocking with that?
I see what you did there, Brandon.
Right. Okay. Got it. All right. Another amazing conversation with another amazing human being and athlete, KJ Osborne. Make sure you guys follow him and support what he's doing in the community. One life can change one life, and that one life could change millions, right? So let's continue to invest in each other and support each other. I guess that's a wrap. Ashley, you want to do the thing you do? Like how you say ciao, ciao. Is it ciao?
Ciao, arrivederci.
Until tomorrow. Peace.
Next week.